Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. Right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right. You know what I love? I love when we get unique gifts of somebody that pays attention to the podcast. So here's a gift I got from a fellow named Ben. Ben, you hung
Ben
out
Garza,
with Adam. You know, Adam's famous. He wants to give everybody a shout out. So Adam, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give him a little bit of love.
Thank you, sir.
But I just tell you, I love this thing you sent. And you said, Brooklyn can climb the palm trees at our club anytime she wants. And you send this little 3D thing, which that's an inside joke. Shout out to Coral Ridge Yacht Club that they don't allow little kids to mess with palm trees. But appreciate that little gift. Guys, a lot of stuff is going on. I don't know if you know this or not, or Vinny, but yesterday was a busy day. There was this guy who was not happy about what happened yesterday, the last couple of days.
Okay.
You know how who do you like to go to a baseball game with? Be honest. Who do you like to go to a baseball game with?
People like you that like the team that I'm rooting for. People that love the game.
What game did we go to recently? The World Series? Like we went to.
The World National.
Who played who? Dominican Republic against
Venezuela.
Juan Soto hit a home run. You know, Guerrero hit a home run. It was just sick, right?
Yes.
Don't you love going to games with people you love?
Of course.
You know why the last couple of days was bad?
Why?
Barack Obama can no longer go to baseball games with Raul Castro.
What?
Oh, no.
Wait, his buddy?
He's never, because they would go to games together like communism. And now Raul Castro from Cuba got indicted.
Dude.
I don't think that's cool because, listen, there is something special about you going, you know how you're sitting there like, hey, pass the hot dog.
Yeah.
You know, hey, tell me how much you love about taxing everybody, right?
Yes.
And making sure everybody's poor. Isn't it great?
It's the
He
best.
loves that. Obama can't do that anymore, unfortunately, on behalf of the DOJ and FBI, who's going after
like
Raul
a baseball
Castro.
game, a pack of Salems,
Yeah.
talking about imprisoning conservatives, you know?
Yeah.
Now, what's he going to do now?
That's behind him. So now yesterday, a recording leaks from Zuck that is telling the engineers, hey, we want you to keep coding so the AI can learn how good you're coding so we no longer need you. But in return, to be fair, which Tom said it, in return, those people to share their skills with the skill set got something that they obviously agreed to because long-term they can make a lot of money. I'll let Tom reveal that to us in a few minutes when we get into it. Yesterday, SpaceX, IPO. There's a South African guy that apparently is, once this thing is done, will be the first official trillionaire in the world, causing Bernie Sanders to change the script. It's no longer millionaires and billionaires. He has to now say billionaires and trillionaires. So, by the way, that's coming to a
Singular
hearing
trillionaire
near you on what's going to be happening. But we predicted this 4.5 years ago that Ilan's going to be the first trillionaire in the next 2 to 5 years. And we are here now, folks. We have a trillionaire in the world. I think a lot of other people are behind the corner. Guy named Bezos did an interview. We talked about it a couple days ago, even yesterday with Steve Hilton. I think Bezos either has gotten so good with the camera, he absolutely crushed this interview with common sense. We can literally watch every single clip, whether how he broke down firing the people at Washington Post. It's a clinic on how a CEO should handle criticism and firing people. The way he went one by one, fantastic. We'll cover that as well. It's funny, one trillionaire and the other guy soon to be one, maybe soon to be one. He's got some work to do, but he's also doing his thing. You know, he's probably benching 3 plates at least 8 times. What do you think? Do you think Bezos can bench 3 plates 8 times?
I think that TRT is doing
It's doing really good. Maybe it's a little bit more than TRT. Maybe there's a little bit of GH. Maybe there's a little bit of Primo Ballin. I think he's doing some stuff there. He's looking good. There was this phone call. And I don't know if I should even show this. There was a podcast done between Bibi and Trump. Okay, so that's I don't want to show that.
You have to because nobody
nobody
knows that they did it.
I'm not showing that. But what I will show, I'm not going to show that. But what I will, and I don't want people to, because it's going to be a lot of stories that's going to be circulating. I'm going to. There was a phone call between Bibi and Trump that things got testy. That Bibi said, now listen, anytime somebody says something like this, I am 50-50, where it's like, look, if you don't attack first, they're going to attack first. Give me a flipping break. But that's what Bibi said. Bibi said, hey, Trump, if you don't attack first, Iran is going to attack first because our intel's telling us that. So you have 2 camps when somebody says something like that. One side is what? Okay, maybe they have intel, let's attack. What's the other camp? It's like, hey, Vinny, you know what she said about you?
What?
She said, I don't want to say what she said about you.
Okay.
Let me tell you what she said about you.
Was it good or bad?
Horrible.
What?
If she would have said that to my face, I would have slapped her. That's the kind of a phone call.
Got it.
So now you have to either believe that she did say that or you have to slap her. Okay?
Like Sean Connery said, sometimes you
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do it, right? So now, next, the Iran war powers vote, okay, where they came out and said, listen, whether you like it or not, we're taking the nuclear uranium enrichment, we're taking that away from you. Whether you like it or not, we're going to take it away from you. And Iran comes back and says, Trump's threat is you better do something or else. He says Trump's not going to do anything. That's what Iran is saying. I mean, that's like talking shit right there, right? You're not going to do nothing is the kind of situation they're at there. We'll see what happened. SoftBank surges 30%. OpenAI, Tom's got some insight on how Japan is now taking control of some of the bigger companies of what they're investing in. We'll talk about that. Ilhan Omar and Amy Bock, B-O-C-K, Amy Bock, great name. She is facing, how many months did you say? 512 months or some?
500.
500.
Now, why do they say it like that? Why can't you? Because is it so you can't say 42 years? Like you want to scare him? I'm going to put you in prison for 3,790 days. Just say 10 years.
Yeah. No.
Why don't you just say 42 years? 500 months, Vinny,
bad.
is what they got. And Ilhan Omar had nothing to say about it. Tim Walz was hiding. And Nick Shirley, a little 22-year-old innocent guy that's just going out there asking questions, is causing people to resign, quit, and get fired and go to prison.
Weird.
Can you imagine that? But what he does is not effective.
No, he's
what
not,
he does
he's
is not effective.
He is not a
And he's
journalist.
not a reporter.
He's
That
not a
boy is
reporter.
not a
snitch.
reporter.
He's not a snitch.
But I'm not a snitch.
Yeah. Right, so, okay. And then we got, I don't know if we want to go into the Thomas Massey story. It is what it is. Maybe we will. And then we got Hunter Biden did a podcast with Candace. There's a clip that he finally, Rob, admits that the laptop is real, but the cocaine's not. He would never touch cocaine. I'm a crack guy. I'm not, he's not a cocaine guy, right? He says, I don't touch cocaine. I touch crack. We may get into it. And then Kyle Busch, out of nowhere, we hear the news. One of the most exciting drivers at 41 years old. Are you kidding me? Goes into the hospital. Nobody knows. There's a bunch of different speculations. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary, but just that's it. And Rob has a clip that we have to play on him saying you never know which one's going to be your last race. And we literally never know what's our last day of doing anything. That's why we got to be grateful and do the best with what we have. And then we have to talk about Reza Pahlavi from Iran. Made a comment. Little bit of a shot at the president. Little bit of a shot. It seems like he's getting frustrated because this regime change and regime collapse is not happening, and he's now getting upset at Trump. And I don't know if that's a good strategy. But that's a strategy he's taking. He's almost making it very clear that Trump's not going to do anything with him. But what I do not like on what they said, bunch of pansies, FIFA, that they don't allow Iran's flag from back in the days under Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, the father, the OG, the guy. They're not allowing people from Iran to bring that flag to the match at World Cup. I don't like that move. I don't like that move at all. If I want to bring that flag, allow me to bring that flag. But they're not allowing that to happen, which I get. You're trying to not make it political. You don't want to create controversy and chaos. Fully get it. They're making responsible decisions.
The flag is banned?
The flag, the previous flag of Iran that the Shah had, they're not allowing to bring.
So how are they going to enforce that?
They just won't let
They're going to take it away from you. If you put it up here, give it to me, I'm going to take it away from you.
They're going to bring it, Pat.
Well, listen.
That's the move, by the way.
I'm part of the community of let the boy watch. I'm part of the plums, right? Bring the flag, right? Bring the flags. But
please bring those flags.
We'll talk about that, and then we never got into the Jake Paul, Dana White, Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, Netflix. The numbers record breaking. We have to address that. Ilan's going to talk about that. I got some thoughts on that as well. AOC decides to go to data centers, and she is indirectly converting some conservatives into her fans. And I keep talking about it. Hey, don't rule her out as somebody running for president in 2028. And then we, of course, have to talk about the San Diego shooter and the manifesto that they wrote. What a weird set of stories there.
Yeah.
Devastating. You go to a mosque and you shoot innocent people, and then you read the manifesto and it says what they're all about. What a weird set of events that took place there. On the things that they're doing. So we'll address that as well. I know, Vinny, Ilan, you guys have some insight on that. And then we got a few other stories, God willing, we'll get into it. It is a Friday, so we'll have some time. But with that being said, we got something special. Let me tell you guys before I turn it over to a guy that you guys all love. According to the survey we did, you guys love him so much, but I don't know if you love him that much yet. And I'll tell you afterwards why. And I got a challenge for everybody. But I do know you love him a lot. Last time we did a hat that came out, Faith Over Fear. Do you know how many complaints we got? Because it was a hat that we ordered less than 1,000. I don't know what it was, maybe 500, 700. It went like this. Everyone's like, wait a minute. I want to order more. Gone. And we have to wait 3 months because our shipments takes a while to make them. But today, I don't want that to happen to you. And with that being said, Vinny, share with us what's the latest item that you have available for the audience.
So, Pat, it's the hat that I'm wearing right now, which I'm going to tell you guys right now. It's Here Am I, Send Me. Has a cross here. Has our
You want to take it off so they can see the cross on the side?
So,
and then what's on the back?
I'll do it like this. Boom. I'll take it off. My hair's a little bit messed up. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8 in the back. In fact, the inspiration comes from Isaiah chapter 6, 8. And I know Tom knows this. Isaiah hears the Lord speaking, and he's asking for volunteers, like who's going to go and talk to the people and tell them to change their ways. And Isaiah steps up, and this is what he says. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And then I said, here am I, send me. And this is what this hat stands for, Pat. It stands for answering the call. In a world where everybody stays quiet to protect themselves, this means you are willing to stand up for your faith, for your values, and the truth. Here am I, send me. Basically says, stop waiting for somebody else to do it. You do it, okay? It's saying, I'll speak, I'll lead, and I'll represent Jesus Christ without fear. And this is exactly where this hat says, and this is why it inspired me, and this is what this is about. And Ilan actually made a great point, Pat. It's in another context. You remember in The Town where Ben Affleck walks in and his friend's sitting there and he goes, hey, listen, I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. We're going to go and do this and we're going to hurt some people. And he goes, whose car are we taking? That means I am ready to go for God, Pat. And as of late, a lot of people have been approaching me and talking, and I feel like the Holy Spirit is literally speaking for, like, sometimes I get nervous because I'm like, what am I going to say? In that moment, it's almost like God's like, I got you. Just open your mouth and go. So, and I'm going to warn everybody, guys, the last time these things sold out in less than a day. So go to vtmerch.com. I think it's on the front page, and it's in the Faith Over Fear collection. And I can't say how much I appreciate you guys for doing it because the word is getting out. God bless you all. I love you.
All right, go to vtmerch.com to place the order and get one for yourself, your peers, your friends, your family, your father, your brother, whoever it may be. And then get the shirt and the sweater to go with it as well and match it. Okay, by the way, Mario sends me a picture from one of our clients. The client's at a restaurant. He sends me this picture. He says, you won't even believe it. I'm at a restaurant. I'm sitting there enjoying my own thing. Rob, maybe I'll send it to you. He says, I'm enjoying my own thing. I'm not paying attention to nothing. And then I see the guy sitting right in front of me. You won't even believe what it is. And they send it to me. And the guy sitting right in front of him, I'll let you see this for yourself so you can see it. This is the beautiful thing about what's going on right now with the messaging that we have around the world. Rob, if you can show what I just sent you, it's a guy sitting right in the front that they're having lunch with. And guess what he has on the bottom of
No way.
He's wearing Future Looks Bright
That is
shoes.
sick.
So whether it's faith over fear, whether it's here am I, send me, whether it's Future Looks Bright, I love the fact that the audience is finding each other all around the world. With that being said, let's get right into it. Trump and BB phone call gets testy. What does that mean? What does that mean it gets testy? Rob, I think you got a couple clips on that one there, but I'm going to go to page 8 first. So, and this is not a phone call from the Daily Mail. This is not an article from the Inquirer. This is an article from Wall Street Journal. What do you mean Trump and Netanyahu hold a testy call over Iran? President Trump and Bibi held a contentious call Tuesday evening. People familiar with the matter said, with Netanyahu railing against a pact to end the war with Iran and Trump defending the diplomatic process. Israel has long expressed skepticism that Iran would abide by any agreement to dismantle its nuclear work and refrain from attacks on regional nations. Netanyahu reiterated those points with Trump in a Tuesday call, and an earlier one on Sunday, the people said Trump was unconvinced, telling Netanyahu he would continue to pursue an accord that prevents Iran from ever acquiring a nuclear weapon. Trump added that Iran faced fresh strikes if it did not show more flexibility in the talks. Rob, is this the recording?
No, this is actually President Trump being asked about the call.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead.
What did you say to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long the whole office?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do, and he's a great guy. To me, he's a great guy. Don't forget, he was a wartime prime minister, and he's not treated right in Israel, in my opinion. I'm right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister. So maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a call this morning. I'm 99%.
I didn't see this.
So that's good. But no, he's a wartime prime minister. And I just don't think they treat him well.
Okay, so I'll continue here. Speaking to reporters, when Wednesday said Netanyahu asked later when he was close to making a decision on Iran, he replied, "It's right on the borderline. We have to get the right answers. It would have been a complete 100% good answers. There have been a flurry of high-level diplomatic activity this week between mediators, including Pakistan." So anyways, you see something like that, Ilan, what do you think about?
Number one, I do think if I'm just going to look at this objectively from Netanyahu's standpoint, I do think that he sees this as one of the last-ditch attempts to be able to have the United States back them in a heavy, act in Iran. Because after Trump, it's game over for that kind of involvement. I do think that Trump does have a lot of influence over Netanyahu. Regardless of what people say, he's demonstrated his ability to taper him back when necessary. Trump's in a pretty hard place with this. When this all started, I really, really believed, even selfishly, biasedly, that regime change could happen. That was like my dream for this. That's off the table for me in my mind now. And I think Trump sees the reality of the situation. Sometimes you go into a situation wanting one thing, you come out realizing a victory is something completely different. I think Trump does see that a victory in this situation is something like a long-term, limitation on Iran's ability to be nuclear, the destabilization, if you look at the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. The Middle East has a totally different...
The 20 years, because he said he's open to the 20 years. I don't know if you saw that or not. He's open to a 20-year where they're not dealing with anything with nuclear for 20 years.
The question is, will Iran actually abide by anything like that? And the truth is that most likely they won't, but at least there'll be some degree if you can put the measures in place to be able to monitor. Yeah. It'll be a much safer Middle East than it is now. I think Trump is playing a very, very, very tightrope balancing act between appearing strong enough to not appear weak, but also not drive us into a full-scale conflict, also while appealing to people who are pro-Israel, but also appealing to isolationists and populists.
Well, and then when you say, Ilan, because we thought regime change. Remember the New York Times article where they said that they were in the room and Bibi and Mossad was on, Zoom or whatever, and that when they left, they said that this is like, they warned the president, this is what Israel does. They oversell and underdeliver. So I think he was in there and, he was told it'll be quick, it'll be Venezuela. And he believes the people around him, the people that want the best for him. But I think in this situation, Trump, and it's frustrating, Pat, because I think Trump is trying to prevent this thing to keep going and going and going. But Bibi wants more escalation. If you think about it too, negotiators are getting killed. And Trump's trying to figure out a path for a deal. But here's my thing. What else does Bibi want? I know we were talking about, getting rid of the plutonium or whatever, the uranium, whatever's going on. But like, what else does Bibi want? What else? Their navy's at the bottom of the sea. Their nuclear capabilities decimated. The infrastructure's hammered. We keep killing all the leadership. And the only thing that bothers me, Pat, is the relationship that we have with Israel. They're saying, come on, do it. If they do go strike, what do? We have to back them. That's what it's history repeats itself. We keep going. If they do something, we back them. So I love the fact that he's obviously arguing and pushing back and saying like, bro, like relax. Can we have a freaking peace deal? Because what's the objective? And I love that you said that. There is going to be no regime change. They're killing us on the freaking Strait of Hormuz. It's like, bro, we want this thing to wrap up and hurry up and finish.
So I disagree a little bit with Vinny on one thing. The advisors that were around Trump, I don't think they want what's best for him. I don't think they want it all. I think the war hawks want war, and they want what they want from the military-industrial complex. I think foreign lobbyists in Israel wants what Israel wanted. And I think a lot of people were in that room, and it got pushed, and I don't think he got good advice. I don't think he got good advice at all, because all you do is look at it. Okay, the plan for the war, what happened, step 1, step 2, step 3, what actually happened? So either the advisors were wrong or we got beat. I don't think we got beat. I think the advisors were wrong. Second, the one thing that I look at is if all the things we talk about are true. Oh, we've decimated this. Their navy's at the bottom of the sea. Onto this. Well, then why isn't there a deal? If we've really got them all the way by the throat, down on the floor, why didn't they tap out? Why didn't they take a deal? And now we've entered the world of a world I don't like. Well, at least. Put that in quotes and look at how many times that's going to be said over the next 3 weeks. Well, at least they don't have it for 20 years. Well, at least they give up, maybe the rocket boosters. Well, at least China's no longer giving them rocket fuel. You just wait. That's what we're going to get, because that is a sign of backing off on where this is going to be. And the thing that bugs me is how this shifted. First, we said, hey, I see you there. Don't hang those 3 boys. Don't do it. That's a red line for me. And help is on the way. Then it was, well, they have nuclear ambitions, and within a couple of weeks they could have a nuclear weapon, and we don't want that. And it shifted. So there was a speech about the people. Then we shifted there. And now I sit back. Who's talking about the people?
No.
Who? No
Nobody's
one.
talking about
the IRGC is going to commit political genocide. They are going to go for their enemies. They're going to imprison them. People are going to die. And tell me that these people waited 47 years for this?
Yeah.
That disappoints me terribly.
And Pat, may I? And I'm not saying, Tom, the advisors that I was talking about was Pete Hegseth was in there, General Kane, Rubio, and John Ratcliffe, head of CIA, were trying to tell him, like, hey, listen, weigh your options, but we still did it. Those are the advisors that I was talking about.
Did all of those say this?
And the New York Times article said that they did.
All of those ones you just listed.
Yes, I could.
Rubio and Hegseth both said, be careful about this. Maybe we don't want to do this.
Yes, and General Kane said something as well. I'll find out the direct quotes.
So here's what I've read and heard about this. In a situation like this, guys, let's face it. It's not everybody saying let's go to war and everybody saying don't go to war.
Yeah.
We're sitting here talking about issues and we don't agree on all issues. So, hey, what do you think we should do? And then you make the decision. He made the decision. The president made the decision based on the information that he had. So the onus is on the leader that made the decision, and he has no problem with it. He'll live with the decision. And don't forget what word he used as everything was taking place. What is the most important word he used in war or any of the other issues? It's a word that starts with the letter F. He says, we're going to stay fluid. Very, very simple. Everything's going to be fluid. Maybe we'll do it this way on this one. Maybe we'll do it this way on this one. And by the way, sometimes you attack and then things are not what you expect it to be. And then you have to adjust and pivot. That's what leaders have to do in life. It's not like every time it's going to be the same thing. Hey, here's how I'm going to handle this situation. So I don't know. But what I do know is if you notice the way he talked, he's so good at doing this, where he say, yeah, he's going to do whatever I tell him to do. Whatever I tell him to do, he's going to do. But at the same time, guess what? He's a great guy. Remember, he's a wartime leader. But he's going to do whatever I tell him. Matter of fact, if I'm done with this, if I go to Israel and I run, I would become the prime minister. Look at the way he makes sure the world knows I'm the
in charge.
Head, in charge. I'm the guy that's running this. I'm the guy that's running the show here. Go ahead, Adam.
Bingo. I have not been following all the nuance of the day-to-day. The Hormuz, I mean, you'll drive yourself crazy with that. But the last thing you said is exactly where I would have started. The first thing he said, he goes, he'll do whatever I want. Straight up. I laughed out loud because I saw the humor in it. I saw the realness in it. I saw the chiding, oh no, you think BB owns me? Are you kidding me? Kind of flex. And yeah, I'll do whatever I want. Now, granted, Israel and U.S. are on the same team. They're allies, correct? Is that a controversial statement these days? They're allies. They have different interests in the region. Don't forget, America wants to get in and out of this asshole country, forgive me, and move on to China. China pivot. Hello, we know that. You just literally went to China. But Israel has to stay in that region. UAE has to stay in that region. Saudi has to stay in the region. All these neighbors, Kuwait, they're the ones asking Trump, don't start doing epic fury. Keep the economic fury. But here's where I want to go, big picture, and I'll go super quick. Bibi gave an interview about a week ago. I don't know if we addressed it on the podcast. An hour and a half real interview. And here's what I took from it. So for all the Israel haters, like what's the number one thing you hear? We've got to stop funding Israel. We have to stop funding. Bibi goes, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, 10-year plan.
Deal. Because it's $3.8 billion a year and I'm not going to get too nuanced here. About
80% you buy back weapons from us.
It's weapon buyback, guys. That's all it is.
Sure.
He said, sure, we don't need it anymore. By the way, he also said, whether you like it or not now, since October 7th, brace for impact, Israel is the now most powerful richest country per capita in the Middle East, and it's not even close. The innovation, the tech, the defense, the entrepreneurism, the startup culture, it's crazy what they've done there. I mean, juxtapose that whatever's going on with countries that only have oil or don't even have anything, including oil. But the last thing I'll say is this. Trump is in no rush to do a deal. And this is where you and I sort of disagreed. You said June 14th. I said probably after July, 3 months. It's not a big disagreement. But I think Trump, at the end of the day, you've used this term before, he's kind of floating at this point. He's kind of like, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing this 10 years. He's not going to get caught up in the headlines, and he knows exactly where he stands.
Rob, is this the clip on him talking about Iran cannot have enriched uranium?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rob.
Can they keep their highly enriched uranium?
No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
Yeah, there you go. So that's kind of what his position is there. And by the way, while this is taking place, Reza Pahlavi, who's been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a regime change or regime collapse so he can come in and be the transitional leader. And I've never seen him talk like this about the president, but he showed a little bit of emotions here and running out of patience. Go ahead, Rob, if you want to play this clip.
Cannot send mixed signals. On the one hand, said people need to rise, and at the same time say, wait, we are negotiating. It's confusing the hell out of everyone.
Do you want to see U.S. boots on the ground at this point?
I think that the best way to articulate this is to say that, and that's something that we have said, that the boots on the ground in Iran are the Iranian people themselves. We don't need to have foreign troops doing the job for us. But in order for people to be emboldened and have a fair fighting chance, unlike what happened in January 8th and 9th when they were massacred to the tune of over 40,000 people in less than 48 hours, how could you expect the people to be the elements on the ground if they don't get the appropriate protection or cover? We can only call to this action by people being on the streets again when they have that level of an equal fighting chance, not while the regime can deploy their thugs to murder people on the streets. That's why we needed to have the air campaign. That's why we needed to have the aerial protection. And I think that's where you can generate the element on the grounds that will not require.
So here's the question. You can pause it right there. Or you can pause it right there. It's like, hey, you can't say, go back to it again, Rob. Go back to the first part of what he said, exactly the first part on what he said. If you have the clip, you can play the first 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Send mixed signals. On the one hand, said people need to rise, and at the same time say, wait, we are negotiating. It's confusing the hell out of everyone.
Okay, pause it right there. It's confusing the hell out of everyone. Who are you talking to?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to Trump. Okay. What authority do you have?
Mm-hmm.
What authority do you have? I've sat on the sidelines hoping for you, and I've not been critical. I've sat on the sidelines to see what's going to happen. How come no military leaders are, choosing to side with you? Why not? So you say you don't need U.S. because the boots on the ground are the Iranian people who are getting slaughtered, and the internet's been out. What did Wall Street Journal say yesterday?
More than any other country.
Yeah.
Longest in a history where the internet's been out. Where is it at?
Yeah, longest in history.
Blackout. Can you go to that story? Longest internet blackout in the history, crippling Iran's economy. Why can't you call Ilan and ask for Starlink? Why can't you? Where's your diplomacy? Maybe you're not good at building relationships with people. Maybe you are. I don't know. How connected are you? Are the military guys looking at you and saying, that's our leader. We don't need Trump. I will convert. And I'm going to go help Reza Pahlavi. How come that's not happening? How long have you had so far? How long? I don't know. So to me, when you say mixed signals with the president, what he's doing, the audience who is supporting you, what mixed signals are you giving? You keep saying you got military people on your side. Where are they? Where are they? Go ahead. People come into streets are like, well, is there any way you can unite and back him up? I'm like, I've been quiet. I just want him to go do his thing. Listen, I'll celebrate it and say kudos to you. And we'll put a nice picture and say, hey, he's the guy that got the job done. But where is your military guys showing up for you? Why not? Why are they not showing up for you? I thought you were connected. 47 years you've had. Every few years, this is the closest you've ever been. Do it without the president. Do it without the president. You claim you don't need the president's help. Go ahead, do it. We're all waiting. Go ahead. We'll root for you. How come it's not happening? So what do you mean? It's confusing as hell. It's confusing as hell to your audience. Who are you to say it's confusing as hell with the president? What the hell are you doing? So no, I'm not a fan of saying it's confusing as hell. Your audience should be confused as hell on all the promises you made. Go on the streets, now go back home. Go on the streets again, now go back home. Go on the streets, we have military defectors that are turning and they're going to come in. Where are they? Where are the defectors? Show me. Show me the baby. Where are the defectors? Okay? Your story. Your confidence, you're going out there to media saying they're going to do this, we don't need the president, all this other stuff. Fantastic, because this becomes two different things. What Trump is doing is what's best for America. That's his job. That's his duty. His job isn't what's best for you. His job isn't what's best for any other people than America first. He's trying to do what's best for America. Now, the secondary is what? Of course, he doesn't want issues in the Middle East. He would like there to not have that kind of an issue that they're dealing with. But 90% of the onus is on you now. We've been following. People are like, Pat, just leave this one alone. Leave this one alone. We know what we're doing. Where is it? Where is it? Go ahead. Well, you got to be more patient. The Iranian people that follow Reza Pahlavi have got to be the most patient people in the world. You've been waiting for 47 years. I don't have that kind of patience. Good for you. No, he's the guy. He's this, he's that. Where is the doing? The doing. Not the talking, the doing. So, yes, these are two different separate issues. Trump's got to do what's best for America first. You claim you want to do what's best for Iran first. Well, then go do it. We're waiting. We're rooting for you. We're like, come on. Watch your interviews, beautiful interviews in French and all these other languages that you speak, and very eloquent on the way you deliver your message. But when somebody says, what did you say? Let me call my cousin. You're not going to like it when my cousin shows up. And then cousin doesn't show up for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Your cousin doesn't have your back. And then another person says, what did you say? Wait till my cousin shows up. 30 seconds later, cousin shows up. You're like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I never want to say anything. Yeah. I fought both types of people. Okay? And the one that the cousin shows up, you always respect. Yeah. Where are your cousins? Where are your cousins? Why are they not showing up in the streets of Iran to help these 40-something people that were massacred? That's on Trump or is on you? It's kind of on you. I want to be the transitional leader. It's on you. And by the way, this leads me to many Iranians want to bring the previous flag of Iran, pre-revolution. They do. And Rob, do you see that story? Where now FIFA World Cup is saying you can't. You can't bring the flag. You can't sport that flag. What do you mean you can't sport the flag? Well, they just announced it. And what page is this, Rob? 30-something? Pre-revolution Iran flags banned from the World Cup. That right there. Let me give you a guarantee of how Iranian people are. Let me tell you how Iranian people are. They're going to show up no matter what. They're going to show up no matter what. Don't get me wrong. Security's going to, you can hide the flag in your underwear. You can hide the flag. They're going to try to bring, it's going to be a very small flag if you hide it in your underwear, right? Because if you got stacked, they're going to be like, hey, is this guy in the adult entertainment business? They're going to check you out.
And we know how those Iranian guys are built. I mean, they're
stacked.
They're
stacked. But let me tell you, flags from pre-revolutionary Iran will not be permitted at the upcoming World Cup events this summer. While the pre-revolutionary Iran flag share the same colors as the current Islamic flag, the original flag, beloved by Iranian dissidents and refugees, prominently features a lion and a sun in the center following the 1979 Iranian Revolution. According to The Athletic, a source close to FIFA confirmed they will prohibit the presence of the pre-revolutionary flag at its venues this summer. Ilan, your thoughts on both the Reza Pahlavi story and the flag?
Okay, so the Reza Pahlavi story, I think you nailed it perfectly when you said that Donald Trump has an obligation to the United States. To touch on what you both said earlier, Tom and Vinny, is that the United States has limited the danger that Iran poses to us directly. The 60% enriched uranium could create a dirty bomb, and they demonstrated that they have longer range ballistic missiles than we previously thought. So there was a existential threat to the United States that's greatly limited now. Reza Pahlavi has an obligation to his own people if he wants to see change. You're right. You can't depend on another country. And by the way, to say that Trump has been unclear, Trump has taken more action than any president would be willing to take in Iran to help create an environment where regime change could rise up and actually happen. So he did create the circumstances in the country for that time. As for this right now, the Iranian flag being banned from FIFA, I understand the dangers of, kind of uprising tension in a FIFA game, which could result in chaos and then people getting hurt and all that kind of stuff. They're trying to limit that. They're trying to keep it safe. But I do think, knowing Iranian people, that they will show up with their flags, like you said. Anyway, they'll show up in big numbers. And what are you going to do?
They're going to show up.
You're going to kick out thousands of people from the stadium. You're going to just start. That's going to create a problem in itself. So they're going to be in a position where if enough people show up with flags, there's going to be nothing they can do. And maybe that'll be a bigger statement overall. The fact that it was banned, people show up, hold it, and they can't get rid of them. Then,
Adam.
Persian fans out there, bring your flags. If they can bring the Palestinian terrorist flag anywhere they want and do marches in streets of every city every single day, go ahead and bring your line in the sun. Major respect. The patience things, the flexible thing, and Pat, I'm going to ask you a question. It's been over 40 years. In the last 4 months, not even, they've killed over 40,000 of their own people. Yeah. This regime has a stranglehold on the people. Their future does not look bright on their neck, and you want justice and you want this overturned in 3 months, guys? What are we doing? It's going to take time, like in any other situation in life when you make an investment in the war. But then last thing, Pat, you just went in, sir. I mean, I respectfully, you went. I've never seen you go that hard on the individual, but fair.
I actually don't think I went hard.
No,
I think it's very honest. I think you claim you have people in the military flipping.
Yeah.
Show me the baby. Show me the money.
He was
Where are
asking
they?
a question very clear.
That's what I want to.
If I tell you, if I threaten you, or if I give you a lead that I'm going to do something, and you're like, let me tell you, like, imagine if I am so connected, I'm going to be able to introduce you to this, introduce you to that. Oh, really? All right. Eventually, you're like, where are your connections? Where are your contacts? Oh, I got money people. Really, where are they? Oh, I am so. You hire somebody and they're like, oh, I can bring good engineers. Year later, like, I thought you had all these contacts. Where are all your contacts? No. So to me, he is beloved. I mean, don't get it wrong. The guy is beloved by his people. They love him because they have a fantasy. The love towards him isn't towards him. The love towards him is because of the love they have for his father, not for him. And they are romanticizing with this. And at the end of the day, he has to either show that he is well connected, and military folks are out there, great, or not. And if you're not, great. Don't get out there and say you're confusing the hell out of everyone. You're confusing the hell out of everyone. Your job is Iran first, you claim. His job is America first. Are you delivering on your promises? I don't know. Tom, do you have any thoughts on this?
This is not on this specifically, but I'll tell you, Nicaraguan baseball players hated the fact that there was the alternative flag. They have the beautiful blue and white flag for Nicaragua, but then there's the black and red Sandinista flag. And when they were at the World Baseball Classic, remember, Nicaragua qualified World Baseball Classic for the first time ever in 23. I think it was first time ever. And then they came back in 26 with the team. They love that flag that's on the left, and then you see the FSLN. That's the Sandinista, and it represents a time of pain and everything. So this is not the first time that you've had a country trouble who's had two flags going. And you know what? I see what they're trying to do for the World Cup. They don't want to feel like there's going to be tension in the stands, just like people that see that FSLN, they think about the Sandinista, and they think about bloodshed, and they don't like it.
I just want to give you a chance to give the final word on this. Where I want to ask you is the shadow that he's living in under his father. I understand the romanticizing. I understand that painting. I understand that he seems like a nice guy. He just has not backed it up with actions. And I just want to understand from a father, from a leader, some of the respects to father, maybe just encapsulate, where he could have done better, where he failed, what his position is, because I don't know this guy like you do. And really where he could help at this point, because I think you guys all want to get on the same page and free the Iranian people.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't want to act like I know this guy. So I don't know the guy. I've spent 15 hours with him, 18 hours with him. He's had dinner at our house, lunch at our house. I went and visited him in D.C. We had lunch together at a nice Italian restaurant. He's always been very respectful, always. We've had very good conversations together. And then we've done the couple podcasts together. I've spoken to his team over the years. I've been working behind closed doors for 12 years to help him. So it's not like I haven't been working behind. There's a lot of things people don't know that I've tried to help this guy out in a major way. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him succeed. I don't want to see him fail. Why the hell would I want to see him fail?
Yeah.
Why would I want to? My only first cousin in the world lives in Iran. Armenian guy. You don't think I want to? I have one first cousin in the world. One. And he lives in Iran. You don't think I want to see this guy succeed? Of course I want to see him succeed.
Yeah.
But eventually you get to a point where it's like, stop talking shit, deliver. It's very simple to me. If you're going to say you're going to deliver, go deliver. And stop now putting the onus, because now you know what happens, and I want to tell you what his next move could be. Now it's kind of like, oh, say nothing happens with the Iranian revolution and Iranian regime change or regime collapse. Guess who he's going to blame? Trump.
Yeah,
Oh, you'll see.
Of course.
You'll see.
And that would be completely
and
unfair.
that'll be a coward's move. But watch him. He'll be cornered because it's either his fault or Trump's fault. He's always going to be the guy that's, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's that person's fault. It's not my fault. I hope he doesn't take that route. But if he's going out there saying, you're confusing the hell out of everybody, I already see the next few moves
If
coming.
he did that, and I don't have any ill will towards him, that would be very disrespectful to call
Well,
him.
he's already starting in a very subtle way with that message he gave 2 days ago. I want to get to the next story. I want to get to the next story. We got a lot of other stories to get through. This is one of them that we had. Okay, next story I want to get to is the following. So, Raul Castro, Raul Castro, one of Obama's best friends, who they go to baseball games together, and he would go to Cuba and watch him play. Really enjoyed having peanuts and hot dogs, and just talking about communism and how conservatives and capitalists sucks and all that. They have a lot of things like that in common. Raul Castro officially is being indicted. And Rob, what page is that story on? There you go. Trump. Castro indicted. Very big moment for Cuban Americans. President Donald Trump called the indictment of former Cuban Raul Castro a very big moment for Cuban Americans who believe, he believes, appreciate the indictment. Trump spoke to reporters on the tarmac of Joint Base Andrews shortly after the acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, announced the indictment. Rob, I don't know if you have that or not. If you want to pull that up, he said, I think the Cuban population, is this Todd Blanche or the president?
This Todd Blanche.
Go for it.
There's a reason why myself and the senator and other leadership are here and not in Washington, D.C. to announce this indictment. The community here, you all, understands the history of the Cuban regime better than anyone in America. Many families here know the cost of oppression. I've heard stories over the past week and past months, every one of them heartbreaking.
Rob, is this just kind of giving a story and stuff like this?
Yes, I also have the president.
No, I want to hear the president, not Todd Blanche. I want to hear what the president has to say in this one. Go for it.
Appreciate what the Attorney General just did today and was just doing now, is just watching it. So we have Cuba on our mind. Very important. It's been a lot of problem for a lot of years, and this was I think it was a very big moment for people that, not only Cuban Americans, but people that came from Cuba, that want to go back to Cuba, people that want to see their family in Cuba. I think this is a very big day, very important day.
Now, can we do this, Rob? Who is Raul Castro? What do we know about Raul Castro?
That is Fidel's brother.
That is Fidel's brother. But what did Raul Castro do in 1996?
Malo things. Cosas
The
no
planes,
no
The planes.
No, the planes, yeah.
There was a humanitarian plane, okay? And who decided to shoot down the planes that were the humanitarian plane in 1996? The shoot down of the brothers to the rescue aircraft when a Cuban Air Force shot down 2 unarmed Cessna 337 Skymaster aircraft operated by brothers to the rescue, an organization opposed to the Cuban government, killing 4 men on the 24th February of 1996. The indictment was unsealed and announced by the acting U.S. General Todd Blanche May 20, 2026. Now, here's the question. Did Obama know this event?
100.
100%.
No
So
question.
Barack Obama knows this event 100%. What is he doing going to a baseball game with Raul Castro? How do you argue that, to go, this is him and Obama right there, sitting right next to each other. It's not like they're sitting in the same section.
Oh, and also the current president of Cuba in the blue hat right there.
Yeah, they're sitting there. Do you not know what that guy did? I don't know. I don't. Do you not know what's going on there? Look at the friendly conversations that they're having there. The smiles. Hey, this is a guy that literally shot down humanitarian planes. So why would they be this friendly with each other, Ilan?
By the way, go back to that picture right there. Do you know what this picture was from?
I know what happens when you aim your hand that low like that.
Okay.
Hi.
But understand
hand
this.
sign,
Barack Obama, this is for you, sir.
Yeah.
Allegedly, you could fact check this. He didn't want to shake his hand on camera. So Raul went to shake his hand because there's a difference sitting there versus that picture. You know what I'm saying? That picture. So he went to and there it is. And then he did it. But that's why he did that picture. I'm telling you. That might be AI.
We've seen Obama. Yeah, we've seen Obama align himself with figures that I would consider extremists from a very young age. What was it? Dinesh D'Souza's documentary on him showed all those connections back in the day. I mean, this is unsurprising to me. This is not some major breakthrough.
Translated Marxist socialist.
Yes, essentially. But if we're looking at it at the bigger story here, I think it's interesting that Trump is trying to isolate Cuba. It seems like he's starting to push for soft regime evolution, and he does seem to want to make it a more strategic location and look at the effects. Obviously, if you look at the strategic impact, the influence that Russia and China have through Cuba, I think that's his goal there.
Tom, what do you think with this story? Is this a big story with Raul Castro? Is it like sequencing? We get him first and then we free Cuba?
I think this is a very big story, and I think it's very big sequencing because right now, Cuba, all these pictures of baseball games, everything with Raul, these are history. And let Americans know what's going on right now. These people are in blackout. They don't have running water in many places because they've run out of generator fuel. So you have a power grid that was powering pumping plants for water. That means water comes out of the faucet and water leaves through the toilet. So basically you have the basics of life. Not great, but at least you have that. Many areas of Cuba right now haven't had that, Pat, for weeks. They're carrying jugs of waters from relief stations, number one. Number two, they have no power. Number three, if you don't have generators at certain government buildings, and that's where our guys went to visit them, it's there. So number one, you could take Raul Castro. Number two, you just wait for this thing to just collapse, and it's about to collapse. It's not big and complex like Iran. This community could absolutely collapse, and then you can just step in and elicit leadership change the same way that has been done in Venezuela. And I think the next step is here. And I think we're on the edge of we are closer to being on the edge of a new Cuba than we ever were to being on the edge of a new Iran.
Yeah, Vinny.
I just want to give, first of all, to Todd Blanche, Pat, say what you want. This guy came in, he's the acting attorney general. He is not stopping. Compare him to freaking Pam Bondi, right, who did absolutely nothing. And you got to give, I'm not going to judge him. Obama likes hanging out with people that murder people. And he also likes sending airplanes of cash, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to countries that say death to America, Pat. That's just the kind of people that he likes to hang around. And to me, he doesn't like America. And that's the type of action from people that don't give a damn about us. And I never think that Obama cared about this freaking country, period.
Agree with some of what you said. Some of what you said, we can make the case that Trump will go to North Korea and meet with bad guys, and that's kind of diplomacy.
To do what, though? To try to make peace and...
Yeah.
But if you're going to go to a baseball game with a guy that kills people, that's a whole...
And he was poking him constantly. Little Rocket Man's going to listen.
Yeah.
We're going to figure this out. It's not good that he is launching things into the ocean near Japan. There's a little bit different with the way Trump talked about North Korea than Obama talked about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, guys. I'm just saying that presidents go to foreign countries that are enemies of ours, and they try to do diplomacy.
Yeah, but sending cash and doing that's a whole different situation to sending.
I agree with you.
All right. Just want to make sure.
Guys, I'm just
what
saying.
am I taking crazy pills?
I'm just saying presidents meet with bad people.
We'll get a photo op and a pack of Salem.
Holy moly, around here. All right, but if I'm Cuba, oye mi gente in Cuba, there's one bad thing I just heard, and it's the reason Trump goes, Pat goes, I don't want to hear what Todd Blanche would say. What does Trump have to say? And what did he say? Cuba's on our mind. And if you're a bad guy these days and you're on Trump's mind, that's no good, as the Cubans say. Because who's their best friend right down the street? Venezuela. Ask Maduro how he's doing these days. Or their other friend, the Ayatollah, how's he doing these days? So the Cubans, the Marxists, the guys who are still doing the revolution, somehow, we're still doing the revolution in Cuba. That's what he keeps talking. The revolution survived. Okay, your people are desolate and poor, have no money, and that leads to Obama. This whole socialist, Marxist, communist, gang, gang is just becoming just so obvious. This is why we have democratic socialists campaigning. Vote for the socialists, guys. This is what America is now?
Yeah, on the left.
Where they're just
the left
socialists?
is openly Marxist.
This is what's going on here? To me, that's the bigger story. Why are we cozying up to socialism again as if we don't know where this ends?
Yeah, but that's not new. That seems to be a consistent issue on the left, is their love affair with socialism and Marxism, and it's just becoming more and more extreme and more scary, more normalized.
I agree.
More openly normalized, where it used to be controversial even on the left. On a touch point on Tom saying that they're waiting for collapse, I think that's a dangerous game just due to the sheer instability that you could cause in the region compared to what I think Trump might be trying to do, which is a little bit more isolation and a slower, soft regime change.
I think that's one of the options they have. I don't think it's the best option at all. I think the best option is Raul gets in an Uber, courtesy of the U.S. Navy SEALs, and finds his ass in New York in front of a judge magistrate in the international court, and that we figure out how to put in temporary leadership or, a stability leadership the way we did in Venezuela. I think that's the best outcome that gets, and that we immediately get fuel supplies for those people. I mean, if you don't think we're thinking about it, why is the USS Nimitz, which is almost larger than Cuba itself, sitting in the Caribbean?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it sitting there? What sort of message does that send?
Yeah,
well,
but I'm with you. I don't want to just wait for it to collapse and all the plight and all those people, and then have to go clean up mess A, what just collapsed, mess B, humanitarian, and get the people back on their.
What does Kalshi say on Cuba rap? What is Kalshi saying on how long it's going to take for Cuba to be done? What position? What are people saying about Kalshi, about Cuba on Kalshi? I'm curious. Is there a Kalshi up there about Cuba? There has to be.
Yeah, of course there is.
Just go to Kalshi and then type in Cuba. Let's see what comes up.
Cuba.
Leaves office. Not that leaves office. Will they announce a trade deal? No. Will countries Marco Rubio visit this year? Which countries? Will Mexico? No, it doesn't have anything. There has to be something there on Cuba. I'm surprised as well.
Just one moment of clarity. Raul Castro is not, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's not the sitting president.
No,
or is
no,
he?
he's not.
No.
It's
just
the
symbolic.
Miguel Diaz-Canel guy
Yeah.
that he's still doing the revolution. So I think I fact check this. I think Raul Castro was like 175 years old.
94, yeah.
Okay, I mean, this guy ain't going
But I told
anywhere.
you already, Trump targets people above 85.
Yeah.
Trump likes people that are older than him. He doesn't like him that he's older than him. He's like, listen, you're how old?
You
I
made
mean,
it,
listen,
Pat.
Khamenei
Biden?
was 86.
Yeah.
He went after Khamenei.
And then Joe
Biden was older than him. He's like, no. And then now he wants to go after him. Trump doesn't like seniors.
Dude, hey, man.
He is a little bit like,
he's going to be 80 in a month, guys.
yeah. Well, listen, it's his way of saying, look, I'm going to be the oldest guy in charge. All the rest of you guys, get out. Everyone's got to be younger than me.
So
it's
she
kinda
is
like
safe. Putin's safe.
anybody that's younger than Trump is safe. Anybody older than Trump, you better watch
out, Mitch McConnell. Watch out.
But Adam,
I wanna
tomorrow
go
morning,
I'm going to go to the next story. I'm going to go to the next story. Okay. All right. Tom, did you want to tell your joke, or you want to? Was it going to land? Or I'm going to give you the opportunity.
I want the joke.
Let's go to SpaceX.
Let's
go to SpaceX. SpaceX, page 24. So the biggest revelations from the SpaceX S1 filing, folks. If you're not, listen. Some people are trying to run a business that does $1 million a year. Some run a business doing $10 million a year. Some get to $100 million, which is like, my God, I can't believe we build a $100 million a year business. This guy doesn't build billion-dollar companies. This guy's built multiple trillion-dollar companies. Let me say this again. He's built multiple companies that are not worth multi-billion dollars, multi-trillion dollars. And now SpaceX, which was just an idea, now all of a sudden, the single biggest IPO. So let me read a couple things to it. Musk's initiative to build a human colony. Making life multiplanetary is at the forefront of SpaceX's mission, number one. Number two, Musk's pay package could be worth up to $737 billion. Based on the implied share count in the filings, Musk's 2 performance awards could be worth $737 billion. So what's your bonus this year, folks? His is $737 billion if he's able to get this done, okay? And that is if a $1 billion share award that vests if SpaceX reaches a valuation of $7.5 trillion, which, by the way, Tom's going to tell you a number that's $28.5 trillion here in a minute, but he'll get to it. Anthropic is paying a lot for SpaceX compute. Anthropic is paying SpaceX $1.25 billion a month through May of 2029 for access to the rocket company's compute capacity. Okay, that's a pretty good customer right there. Musk has massive voting power. Okay, you ready for the voting power? Let me read it to you. Voting rights in stock means each share owned gives the shareholders one vote on eligible matters, except the S1 revealed that Musk, who serves as the company's chief executive, CTO, and chairman of the board,
Oh my God.
holds 85.1% of combined voting power, which you know what it means? Nobody gets to say shit. Yeah. What he says is going to happen. And Grok's CapEx was higher than Starship's. The S1 laid out capital expenditure by division for the 3-month ending March 31st, $1 billion on space, $1.3 billion on connectivity, $7.7 billion on AI. That means spending on XAI projects like Grok was higher than SpaceX's rocket division spending, which includes the super heavy Starship rockets. The company poured money into AI last year, too. For 2025, space segment spent $3.8 billion, and the AI segment spent $12.7 billion. Tom, how big of a deal is this?
This is huge. This is really big. And everybody is coming out today. There was an analyst, I won't give his name, from the information that came out and said SpaceX is worth $700 billion, not $1.75. And he did all present value on things. People are doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's not present value, it's future value. And to talk about in life, in S1s, there's what's called TAM and SAM. TAM is total available market. Like let's say Vinny, the merchandise. Let's say merchandise in the United States was a total available market of $10 billion.
I'm writing that down.
And then you go to SAM, served market. But the faith-based market would be $400 million. Make sense? So you always look at it that way. And big TAMs, total available markets, big market opportunities make IPOs go. Well, check this out. The total addressable market in the S1, they said, is $28.5 trillion, which the company claimed, quote, this is the largest actionable total addressable market in human history, with AI making up 93% of the opportunity. So here's SpaceX. What's inside SpaceX? AI is $26 trillion of it, of the total market. Connectivity, Starlink, is $1.6 trillion. So, little Starlink, it's $1.6 trillion.
Yeah, that's enormous.
You know, it's huge. This would be like the number 5, 6, or 7 company at the end of this year. The space segment, space-enabled solutions, launching stuff for other people, only $370 billion. But check this out. AI from enterprise applications, a TAM of $22.7 trillion. So what they're really saying is it's all about getting the data centers in space where you don't have the cooling, you don't have the water to worry about, because facing the sun, it's ridiculously hot, but 8 inches away facing space, it's ridiculously cold, which guess what? Chips love that. And so this would be, if he gets the data centers up orbiting there, then guess what? He has a massive cost advantage after he gets them up there. And so what you see here, Pat, is just stunning. This is, you called it. I don't know if we have that clip there, but a couple years ago, Pat called it on where Musk would be going. Rob, do we have that?
Yep.
This is what? This is
May 7th, 2022.
Play it. I had a mustache that day.
Yeah.
Is there
Today,
audio?
should I
What is
invest in Twitter
valuation?
today? Should I invest?
If you can get it, the rounds are 100
Well,
million.
Where do I say that
if you
he'll be a
can get in there?
trillionaire?
Right here.
You want to go to specific part where I say he'll be a trillionaire.
Yep, right here.
Okay, go for it.
There's not a lot of people that are sitting on $100 million of cash. That's the challenge. Market cap, $38 billion. Okay, here's what I'll tell you. Twitter.
A rollout is a really giant.
So don't worry.
Oh,
it is what it is. So, okay.
Anyway, but we called it there, and now you have.
He'll be a
the
trillionaire.
first
We don't need to play this clip, but he'll be a trillionaire in no time. This was 4.5 years ago.
He's the first self-made.
Yeah.
People say, oh, there's other trillionaires on Earth. Stop. You're talking about sovereigns that are running countries that own the oil under the land. None of them. They were born into it, and the oil was put there by God.
Pat, I have to, after Tom came to me, Tom, I concur with your monetary assessment. Your analysis demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of the economic reality of what's going on. I just had to tell him that.
I love it.
Because I'm
love
so...
Ilan, how big of a deal is this? How big of a
I
deal
think
is
it's a
this?
huge. I think number one of the main things we're seeing that Tom touched on is the importance and the future of our world. Literally depends on our data centers. That's the big upcoming war. But I think in terms of Elon Musk, we're getting to the point where individuals, like an individual like Elon Musk, can hold more power and more influence than countries, than entire countries. He's building civilization scale infrastructure. This is like back in the day they built the railroads. He's building this to outer space. So it's an entire different mindset. And he's not only revolutionized multiple industries, he's created multiple industries. Everything he went into, people said was an impossible place to go into. When we looked at electric cars, he created that entire industry. People said it wasn't viable. When we look at privatized space travel, people said that wasn't viable. He has taken every single thing he's done and turned it into a mega corporation. I think people fail to realize that the future of our world is going to be heavily influenced by people like this. And again, it all comes down to the data centers. Our ability to compute things is going to be the future. And that's where everyone should be putting their focus.
Adam.
Yeah. You gave that date, what was it, May of 2022?
Yeah.
May 2022.
Where do you think his net worth was at that point?
250 billion.
Okay, you want to see something crazy? Rob, I sent you a picture. Where do you think his wealth was in 2020, right after COVID?
Right after COVID?
Like, a few months after COVID.
88
Rob,
billion.
don't show that.
88 billion.
Okay, you're absolutely right. Look, Rob, the other picture. This is in October of 2020.
Yep.
I'm doing board episodes in my favorite place in the world, Addison. Look where Elon Musk is on that list.
96 billion.
He's the fifth richest person. God, I had to write that whole thing. That was ridiculous. Worth 96 billion, and so a little over 5 years later, he's going to be a trillionaire. And wow, let's just stop right there. But you called it. Respect to you. I think this is going to get real ugly for the guy. And by the way, I'm going to say two different things right here. We need to stop in America, the socialist Marxists, stop villainizing the greatest creators. These billionaires, the people who are changing life as we know it, and villainizing them for becoming billionaires or trillionaires. It's like, what do you want to pay them with? Cookies and ice cream? Like, how, when you do good things, like, what can we give them? Well, they do it for money and wealth so they can do it and buy and build more businesses. Clearly, that's what this guy wants to do. It's like, I don't understand the Marxists, the communists want to come after their money. It's like, that's how they're funding your cities.
Yeah, but look, I mean, that's great to see this on what the guy is doing. What I will say is, how does this apply to you? Okay? How does this apply to you?
That's where I was going.
Go ahead.
That's where I was going. Okay, sorry. So what I will say is there ever a case, maybe in the history of the world, Pat, of signal over noise than Elon Musk? This guy is in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Other than Trump, probably one of the most hated men in America, if not in the world. And all he's doing is changing the world. From the baby mama drama, the Trump Epstein tweet, 6 months later, he's on a plane with Trump to China. The way that he's tuned out all the noise and built some of the world's greatest companies. In fact, since COVID, he's on the list of the top 10 companies that have had the biggest profit margins since 2020.
Yeah.
And he's done all this with basically creating drama everywhere he goes. He just did a lawsuit. I think he was found guilty or whatever it was with Sam Altman, or he lost that case.
Yeah.
So there's so much noise going on in this guy's life.
Nobody was
found guilty.
So I want to show this, Rob. If you want to pull this up, Rob, how does this apply to you? Folks, if you're not somebody that's following exactly what's going on, this is not a sponsorship, okay? Autopilot, what they do is they track what everyone's portfolio is that you can match them. They just released recently, Trump's administration committed $2 billion to quantum computing companies in exchange for equity stakes. And these were the handful of companies they looked at. That's surging right now. Okay, just look at that. Inflection, D-Wave Quantum, Rigidity, Global Boundaries, and IBM, because they got the deals. So if you haven't gone and downloaded the app, Autopilot, do yourself a favor and go do that. You can have any of the portfolios that they're following, and you're like not somebody that's a day trader, they do it for you, Rob. Can you go to the other image I sent you? I sent you two of them. This is one of them, and I sent you the other one to pull up. So if you go to their account right now, one of their top performing ones by the unusual whales is White House Asset Management. You literally track what they're investing their money into. So there's going to be a lot of wealth being made the next few years. You may as well ride it. You may as well ride it. If you can't afford to put a lot into it, test something out for yourself that you can afford. But get in the mix. This is going to be the amount of, like Anthropic CEO said this is very important for people to be aware of. He said GDP is going to go it's going to skyrocket, but so is unemployment is going to go to 10%. During this time when it happens, make sure you're paying attention to your investments. Make sure you're paying attention to what's going to happen to your own investments. The difference could be if you're sitting on $88,000 today, in the next 5 years, that $88,000 could be $172,000, or it could be $388,000, or it could be $694,000, or it could be in the millions. But if you're just somebody that's not paying attention to what's going on in the market, your family is going to be impacted by as well. You love or hate what's going on with AI. You can hate it as much as you want. Make sure at least the investment side work in your favor and you have the tools. Autopilot may be one of the best ones for you to look at what they're doing today. For the average person, Tom introduced me to this. We made the phone call. I was so impressed by these guys. I got involved myself in the company on wanting to contribute to them. And then I open up an account. I put my own money in it as well, and I'm watching what's going on. I got a lot of different investment portfolios, but it is something where the average person, even somebody, 39% of our audience are business owners. You guys did the survey. 39% of our audience are business owners. You may want to check these guys out. Okay, let's go into the next story. Next story I want to get to is what happened with Zuck. So Zuck, with the 7,000 layoffs because of AI that took place, the one thing that people are missing is anytime something like this happens, automatically everything is Mark Zuckerberg, addresses staff ahead of mass AI layoffs. And by the way, was this leaked intentionally or was this accidental?
I don't know, but it was on a all-hands meeting on the April 30th where he just told them that, the training AI on them ahead of mass layoffs.
Okay, so this is a conversation that's being taken place. Mass layoffs are around the corner. Wednesday, they did the layoffs 2 days ago. They asked everybody to stay home for no one to come to the office. Bunch of employees who were worried about getting fired were taking batteries, chargers. They were taking whatever the supplies that Facebook allows you to have. And remember, you know what the average employee makes at Facebook? I don't know if you know the average salary. The average employee at Meta makes between $350,000 to $380,000 a year. So it's not like they're getting rid of $62,000. There you go, $379,000 a year is what the average salary, the median total salary is at Meta. So when they're letting go of people, 7,000 of them, it's a lot of money. But if you want to play this clip, Vinny, I'm going to come to you first, and Tom, I'm coming to you right afterwards. Go ahead.
In other news, I know layoffs are top of mind, but there were also some updates this week around, and a question around employee device tracking. So can you share more on employee device tracking? I think the way that it was announced left folks with some... Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about what we're doing. Like Alex just said, going into what makes these AI models great, right? There's basically a few key ingredients. There's getting the research and the architecture good. There's having good infrastructure, which is both the quantity of compute, but as important, if not more, is also just how efficiently can you use it? How reliable is it? What is the quality of that?
It's a 6-minute clip.
And then
at 44 seconds, Robbie. I don't know. I think he already said the AI part.
Which he says what?
He said the AI models learn from watching really smart people do things. That's the goal of what this leaked audio was about.
So meaning you keep coding so the AI models are watching what you're doing so they get smarter.
Yes.
Okay. So and that's here, by the way. And all the back in the days, Luke Gorman was showing this of where Anthropic CEO talking about, that part with which jobs are going to be replaced by AI the most. Did you see this thing? Mm-hmm. This is a chart that was going viral all over X. It's very important to see this and scary at the same time. Parents, if you haven't seen this, talk about this with your kids. Right there, Rob. If you can click on that, watch this, folks. So this is, go to the top, Rob, so we can see what the top headline says. Andrzej Karpathy, who was at OpenAI, he left to go to Anthropic, just dropped a job risk map for the AI era. By the way, this guy's a heavyweight, respected by everybody on the AI space. Can you zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could? This is what he's saying the risk is at. Red is risky, green is fine. Look at red. General office clerks. Okay, secretaries and admin. Makes sense. Customer service representatives. Totally makes sense. Bookkeeping on the bottom left. But Rennie, go to the fourth chart. Bottom. Do you see software developers?
Yes.
They're going to lose their jobs.
Goodness.
100%.
Kids go to school to become software developers. Guess what? No one cares. Cashiers gone. Heavy and tractor operators, accountants, management, project management, purchasing, human resources, market research, lawyers. AI is going to replace lawyers. Now look at the green, Vinny. Look what the jobs are green. Construction laborers, janitors, childcare, preschool teachers, barbers. Drew and Michael Rapatoni are safe. Nurses, home health care, hand laborers, retail sales workers, delivery truck drivers, farmers, cooks, food and beverage sales, waiters and waitresses, electricians, plumbers, they're safe. This is changing. This is real. And so Facebook, Zuck is saying this to his engineers. On the back end, Tom, I think it's very important to know that Zuck knows that, imagine you're an engineer, you went to school, you're one of the best engineers. I know that you know your job's about to be replaced by this AI software. We both know. So my concern is I want the best from you. What can I do to get the best from you so you don't get distracted and go to a different place? Tom, can you unpack what Facebook did, what Meta did to these guys that are helping of the AI getting smarter when it comes down to coding?
Exactly. Right now, when Meta hires, by the way, amidst all these layoffs, Meta is still hiring brilliant engineers to come in, work on AI and other projects. And right now, they are still at $500,000, $1 million signing bonuses. There was headlines that an elite engineer received a $100 million signing bonus. And Pat, what they were talking about, they gave him a bunch of stock options, that person, that if they go over time and Facebook keeps growing, it's $100 million. But right now, this is where they're at right now. Level E6 is what they call a staff engineer. That's a staff engineer at Facebook. And their salary, $300. Their stock matches it every year, $300. You make $700 a year plus for an E6. E7 is $1.1 million. E8 is $2.72. E9 is $3.85. So from level E6, staff engineer, going all the way up, now you're on $1 million packages. C-level CFOs at mid-sized companies in America don't make $2.1 million a year. And so, and Facebook is saying, okay, well, you're just an E7, a senior staff engineer, and you're going to make $1.5 million. So there may be a lot of layoffs. They may have gotten rid of the metaverse. They may have called Reality Labs. They may have done that, and they may be eliminating jobs for AI, but the people that are staying are very well compensated. And it's not like stick around for and show AI how to do the coding and then you're out of here. It may be, but along the way, you're being paid handsomely to do that job.
Let me tell you, E7 makes $1.469 million. Rob, can you pull out what an E7 makes in the Army?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shit, when you say
I was
E7,
an E5, homie.
I have flat. I'd go back in the Army E7.
Y'all get ready for ballers.
E7s make $3,932. Folks, don't get it twisted.
Ballin'.
This is E7 as an engineer. Not E7 in the Army. You make chump change. But going back, you know what I do think is going to happen, Vinny, and Tom? I think here's what's going to happen. I think employees are going to shrink at a lot of these companies, but they're going to make a lot of money. So if you're there, if you were making $379, you're going to make, 1.5. If you were making 1.5, you're going to make 3.2. If you were making 3.2, you're going to make 7.8. I think it's going to be the other way around to keep those guys, but it is something that a lot of people are thinking about and worried about.
I just think that the entire way we view our economic structure is almost prehistoric compared to what's coming. I think that's the problem. I think there's two simultaneous things happening. You looked at that chart. That's the influence of AI. It doesn't look at the influence of just robotics and automation, which will accelerate at an exponential rate once AI gets better. We're starting to see robots that are made much cheaper. I mean, Elon Musk's working on it. So there's going to be two hits to the economy. And what does a capitalist society look like when labor isn't as meaningful? And I think we're headed in that direction. We have to start thinking about this more existentially than literally. The value of money, the way we perceive wealth, the way we perceive taking care of people in society, all has to shift to accommodate for AI. A lot of people are looking at AI and they're saying, don't worry, new jobs will be created to compensate like in the past. I don't believe that. AI is not only doing the physical kind of aspect that used to be compensated for. It is doing the actual thinking. And what do we see most affected here? The highest level of thinking is what's most affected. So meaning I thought AI would come out and it wouldn't change art. It wouldn't change film. It wouldn't. That was the first thing it hit. It is incredible at doing the high level stuff. So once it can break itself down through automation and robotics to do the low level stuff, I think every industry is impacted. And I just don't see how we replace it. I'm terrified of AI. That's my honest opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be every industry. I think it'll be quite a lot of them. But I do think, sometimes like, listen, what's my favorite day of the week?
Saturday when you put your phone away.
Saturday night,
I love
6 to 9, when this is not in our hands. And it's my favorite day of the week. This thing's away, right? As much as I love technology and how it's changed our lives, I dislike it just as much because it's stealing time away from our loved ones and who we like to sit down and talk to. I do think we're going to go that route, but I do think Team Human's going to make a comeback. We're going to miss each other. We're going to miss. I remember I told a story a few weeks ago where me and this guy from Armenian Power got into a fight once at Glendale Community College, and it was just a group of us. Stupid fight for no reason. Massive fight. A few months later, I'm in the Army at PX. And you know what the PX is. You're going to PX to shop. It's like the Walmart of the Army.
Tax-free,
right?
duty-free.
And it's a small little PX at Fort Jackson, okay, 228, right across the street from the 228 unit. The smallest PX, not the big PX. And this guy, we're both bald. He keeps mad dogging me. I'm mad dogging him. We both have crooked noses. When you got a crooked nose, you're either Italian or Middle Eastern, right? Yeah. So he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. We get closer, closer, closer. We hug each other, and we're crying.
Wow.
So just a few months ago, we're fighting. A few months later, his name was Sleepy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He had a brother. Both of them joined the military. Great guy. We ended up becoming good friends. So I think the friction is going to bring us back to Team Human, but I do think some industry is going to be disrupted, and a lot of industry is going to be disrupted, and I do think people need to be aware and have to talk to their kids about this. You can't sit there and not have the conversation. You have to sit there and have this conversation with your kids because it's coming to a city near you. Whether you like it or not, it's coming to a city near you.
I agree 100%. I mean, and just I mean, if we go back to the Zuckerberg story, and I trust me, I understand 100% as a CEO, it's the company and that's what he does. But using your employees for training data specifically for the purpose of replacing them later is pretty freaking cold-hearted. And I get the fact that he's going to pay him, Tom, and do that for the future. But Pat, I think the bigger
respectfully, you just mentioned every company in America.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But training them and saying that they're watching.
By the way, I'm no defender of Mark Zuckerberg, but when you can say that and that's kind of cold-hearted, you're not just talking about Mark. You're talking about every company that is building an LLM.
I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Because let me tell you how this works, okay? Whose job is it to make sure your kids, your wife, your family is positioned the right way? Whose job and duty is that?
Husband.
Mine.
Yours.
Yeah.
Whose job is it to make sure if you're an entertainer or a comedian to stay funny? Whose job is it? AI's job or your job?
Your job.
Your job. Whose job is it if you're a model to make sure you don't have belly fat so when pictures are taken you look good and your chin looks flawless? Yours. Whose job is it if you're an actor to make sure you stay sharp, you stay marketable? Your job. So for me, if you have a job anywhere you're working, you can either sit there and say, well, F this company, all they want to do is be able to replace me anyways, and da-da-da-da-da. What a negative place to come from.
Yep.
What a negative place to come from. For me, it's more sit there and say, what can I do to be multifaceted to the company? So I got more value that I'm bringing to the company. Because for me, guess what I have? What fear do you think I have? Let's flip it. Can you imagine, like, F everybody? Everybody, you train them and they leave and start their own business.
Yeah.
What do I have to say? Make the opportunity better. Make the environment better. Make the climate better where people work better together. We had a staff meeting the other day. Have you ever seen a staff meeting this big that we've had?
Almost 200 people.
It was insane. We had 17 new people we onboarded just last week on Monday.
Yeah.
I've never seen this many employees in our company. We're hiring like gangbusters left and right. And then guess what we do? We create the comp in a way. How do we give equity, Vinny? Yeah, like people that have equity in a company. Rob, what equity do you have in a company? Which businesses do you have equity in? Stock options in?
All of them.
Name me the businesses that you have stock options in.
Manect, VT Merch, VT Events, Valuetainment, Bet David Consulting, the Boardroom Cigar Lounge, Higher Metrics.
You heard what he just said. So guess what? You create the opportunity in a better way so everybody's working collaboratively. So how do people work together? They're like, oh, I didn't know Studio does that. I didn't know Merch does that. I didn't know Higher Metrics does that. I didn't know Manect does that. I didn't know engineers do that. So I think it's on the business owners to make it better and the individuals. If you sit there and you say, all women want to do is take advantage of the money and da-da-da-da-da. All men want to do is take advantage. Okay, yes, let's make ourselves more valuable, more marketable. I do think in a big way, this is actually honest. I think it's the most honest way of saying, hey, Vinny, this is what we're doing. AI is here. This is how it's replacing themselves. My suggestion for you the next 6 months, I'd like to see you go take this executive course, pay attention to what's going on here because we need help in the company in these 3 areas. And so while you're helping us out with this transition, in the next 6, 12, 18 months, I would like to see you take this position of XYZ. And you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. And that's called career planning. Like one of the things with Higher Metrics we do, which is my favorite part of Higher Metrics, we do the calibration. You're part of the calibration that we do quarterly, and you know how we do calibrations. Okay. So the part of the calibration that we added this year, which is magical, it was a massive disruption and uncomfortable for everybody. You know what it was? Here's what it was. Typically, calibration, who do you calibrate? Employees.
Employee.
Well, exceeds expectation, meets expectation, does not meet expectation, needs improvement, right? Outstanding. You know what we did this time? We sent calibration on all of our managers. So if you got 9 people that report to you, we sent an email to everybody to answer questions, 10 questions, on how well of a job your manager does sitting with you to help you with your career planning. And then scores came back. And then some departments scored 4.3. Some departments scored 2.3. And then you're like, hey, do you ever talk about career with the guys? No, and I don't enough. We need to. Hey, how do you talk about your career with the guys? Here's how I do it. So I think whatever is going on, companies have to get better. Individual performers have to get better. Managers have to get better. And leaders have to get better. If we don't do that, Vinny, you are right. Everybody could be replaced if we don't collectively get better.
And then guess what happens, which is the scary thing that we talked about, and me and Humberto were talking about this the other day, Pat, in the car. Like the middle class and the lower class that are probably going to be losing some of those jobs, they're used to being once in a while poor. They've struggled. They've been there. Guess what? These people that were making 500, 700,000, Pat, that are going to lose their job and they're not ready, they don't know how to be broke. They don't know how to be poor. So then you're going to take people that own all this house and all this stuff, and they're going to basically be struggling. Then what happens to society? Because you know what I love that you said, Pat? The people that use their hands, they're chilling. Yeah. All the people that are using their hands that society normally looks down upon, they're right now like this.
You ready?
I'm doing
There's
great.
a South
ready?
Park episode on this.
Tom, question for you. Watch this, Vinny.
Yeah.
How many industries have you worked in that have nothing to do with each other? Watch this. You've made tens of millions of dollars in your career. How many industries have you been involved in that have nothing to do with each other?
I could probably name 5 right now.
Okay. So why does the market keep looking for guys like you? Why are you never worried about what happens with you in your career?
I'm an operator and I'm adaptable.
Exactly.
Patient,
So you know the people that are making the $500,000 a year, you know what you're not asking, Vinny?
Yeah.
What did they do to get to $500,000? What did they do to get to $500,000 is transferable to every industry.
Got it.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't worry about them.
Yes.
They find ways. They're resourceful. They'll find a way to win. The problem is the people that are like, oh my God, what's going to happen? We're all going to be replaced. What about this? What about that? No, use that energy to find a way to become irreplaceable. Use that energy to find a way to become so valuable for the company. Use that energy to, improve yourself and sit there and say, what if we do this and what if we do that? That opportunity is on the individual to improve. That's my opinion.
I've got some major thoughts on this.
Try to keep it short because I want to go to the next.
I know I'm going to go super fast. I just don't want to get cut off because I've been very silent on this. I've never been more convinced that the future looks bright. Ever. I think everything you said is so accurate about there's going to be return. You said humans are going to make a comeback. It's kind of like, don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. LL Cool J, shout out. I think there's going to be a return to normalcy. I think a couple different things are going to happen. Feminism is going to have to be rewritten. What it means to be a man needs to be rewritten. And what it needs to be a young person in America trying to make that money and save that money needs to be rewritten. I'll just break those 3 down. I think for a man, you have 2 paths at this point. In the future, you can go the STEM route, the tech route, get awesome at that, or the I'm a human in society route, and I'm not behind a computer per se, and I'm working my hands, I'm a laborer, I'm a construction, or I do sales, I manage relationships. People helping people, no pun intended, people being around humans is never gonna go away. Even as we get more data and efficient and more what I call geek squad. Those are the 2 opportunities for men. And obviously, at any point, you want to start a family, yada, yada. Women, your game is changing, ladies. Because going to college for all these useless degrees and getting saddled with debt, and by the time that you figure out what you're going to do with your life, you're 34, and nobody necessarily wants to settle down because you've been a career woman and a boss babe. That's all going away, ladies. And let me tell you, that's going to be a great thing for society. Because notice all the jobs that the ladies are going to do in the future. It's all baby making and baby taken care of. It's nurses, it's teachers, it's babysitters. There are no more paralegals. There's no more random office jobs. So ladies, and for PBD, you know what this is going to mean? There's going to be making a whole lot more babies. That's your dream, is it not?
No, listen.
I think men are going to be laboring, laying pipe, literally, figuratively, and I think women are going to be taking care of kids. And the last thing for the young people, one thing is universal. I've never been so convinced of this. Skills pay the bills, degrees pay fees. Straight up. Talking about, I always say keep your costs low, your flexibility high. You don't know where you're going to be moving these days. With AI, with unemployment, if you get good at your job and you know what you're doing and you're laying pipe, necessarily, I think the future looks bright, Pat.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right, let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get to is Bezos. I want to show a couple clips of Bezos, Rob, if you want to pull those up. So one by one, he is just, making point after point after point with this interview with is it Sorkin? Aaron Sorkin? Am I saying it correct?
Andrew Ross.
Yeah, Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Yeah. Right. That's Tom's boy.
Aaron Sorkin
that's Tom's boy.
No, he's the CNBC anchor.
Which
in the
clip
morning.
is this, Rob? Is this the one about the 1% and the bottom 50%?
This is the WAPO clip. I can
play the WAPO clip. So watch this. Look at the way he's being asked where it's like, oh my God, a gotcha question. Hey, how about all the people you laid off at WAPO? This is basic business, common sense. Go ahead, Rob.
Talking about markets. Yeah. I was going to ask you about the news market. Yeah. Because you own the Washington Post. Yes. And one of the critiques, by the way, and this is maybe the one critique and everything else is, we just said the company laid off about 30% of its staff. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there who said, Jeff's super wealthy. He's talked about this being a public trust. It's something that he bought early on, how much you care about that piece of it. Why lay people off? Why fire people? Why do you need to subsidize the business if, in fact...
Because the Post needs to be a profitable enterprise that stands on its own 2 feet. It needs to be...
Does it?
Yes.
I mean, that's a question. Some people say it should be a trust.
And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's a measure of its relevance. If people won't pay for our product, we're not doing...
Bingo.
It's not good enough.
It's a really well.
Bingo.
It's like, doing... it would be like poetry without rhyming. It's too easy. So it's got to be something that people will pay for because that's a signal.
Right.
It's a signal that we're providing a relevant service. Your paper, the New York Times, you guys make a ton of money. You guys are doing very well financially, and you're providing a service that people are willing to pay for.
Sure.
We can do that too. And guess what I told them, when we were planning those layoffs?
Right.
I didn't pick who was going to get laid off or which departments. I said, follow the data. Follow the data. And I said, there's one exception to this.
What's that?
Don't follow the data on investigative reporting. The heart of the Post is investigative reporting. And guess what? Our newsroom today, even after the layoffs, is still larger than when we did Watergate and the Pentagon Papers. And we just won the Pulitzer Prize for Public Service, the most prestigious prize, prestigious Pulitzer for our investigation into Doge.
Pause it right there, Tom. So, what do you think about the way he's breaking this down about WAPO and why he let go of 30% of his people?
Basically, what he's pointing out is that there's a fable that's in the middle of the question there, and the question is like, why isn't it a trust? And what that is, that's Sorkin kind of speaking to the New York Times that bought his business. Remember, Sorkin was an entrepreneur and sold his business for a lot of money, DealBook. And so now he's at, well, why isn't the news media a trust? And all of a sudden he gets the facts back. And I think that this is what every entrepreneur in America understands. If I run a pool cleaning business and I've got 100 pools that I'm cleaning and I got 4 guys and I'm losing a little bit of money, and 3 of my guys are not that busy, then I got to do it with 3 guys because I'm protecting the jobs of the 3. Nobody looks at what you're protecting or building. They always look at the other side because Sorkin's just trying to find the gotcha. He's trying to find the angle in the interview there. And that's kind of disappointing to me. Now, should he be asking the question? Sure. But he shouldn't be so surprised that an entrepreneur says, wait a minute, words, talks, numbers scream. We have a bigger newsroom than we did under Watergate, which is one of the great legacies and great accomplishments and the great history, storied history of the Washington Post. We've got that. Don't judge it by the investigative reporting. We need that. Follow the data on everything else. And it's like, are you contributing value? And then he whips it back around and says, hey, the New York Times, people want to buy that. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal is kind of interesting. They're both in New York, and they're down the street from each other, and both of them have done better digitally than any other papers out there. Who's done better digitally on subscription than the Times and that? So what do I think? I think Bezos is speaking the truth. Bezos is speaking like an entrepreneur, and there is stuff for people to learn there. If you're running a t-shirt company in Berlin or a small software company in Nebraska, you have something to learn right there. If it's profitable and it's making it, you bet on it. And if it's not, you have to look at trimming or doing something else. It's just a fact. And the insidious angle that says, well, maybe turn it into a trust or something. Bezos is under no obligation to run a nonprofit to build a newsroom simply because you want another liberal voice in America. Sorry.
Well, it touches on actually the kind of socialist mentality we were talking about earlier. What he said is the oldest free market argument in history. And he said it beautiful. If it's not producing, if it's not profitable, that's a sign of its lacking relevance. Or he said if it is profitable, that's a sign of its relevance. That is everything. That's the market feedback you get to know if what you are doing has value. Everything great we created in society. People talk about this with medicine. They say like, oh, well, why does this medicine cost us much? These companies are incentivized to create these things for us because they can then make money off of it. If there is no profitability there, creation dies. And so he's making the ultimate argument here that if he's making relevant news that people want to pay for, then he knows he's making good news. The argument that you should be losing money means that your entire infrastructure is not functional. So exactly what Tom said. I mean, it's the capitalist free market argument.
Yeah, you have the money. Why don't you do it if you have the money? Why do you need to do this? Why do you need to sell merch? Why do you need to do all this stuff to keep making the money? Why do you? It's how this thing works. The incentive for people to continue building something, not the other way around. Adam, your thoughts?
I got a different take on this. Not necessarily a WAPO take, but like more of a societal, cultural take. The article that you just read, what was the second article after that? It said that Zohran Mamdani rebuffs Jeff Bezos' comment on rising taxes. So a few years ago, I remember when it was Elon Musk versus Zuck or Elon Musk versus Bezos. Now it's those guys? Zohran Mamdani, AOC. Shouldn't there be like tens of thousands of Amazon jobs in New York right now that AOC didn't want? God forbid that you want jobs to pay your people hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I have a message to AOC and to Mamdani. Thank you. As a Miamian, as a Floridian, I genuinely just want to thank you for bringing all this money and all this wealth and all this opportunity to Florida. PBD, where were you X amount of years ago? California.
California, Texas.
Came to Florida. Jeff Bezos, born and bred in Miami. He's half Cuban, Miami, Palmetto graduate, Miami, came to Florida. By the way, where's he doing this interview? It's on the top left corner. Merritt Island, Florida. Everything's in Florida. The Google boys came to Florida. Zuck bought a property in Florida. Your boy Messi moved to Florida, a couple houses away from you. Ken Griffin, thank you, Mamdani, for what you're doing to Ken Griffin. Go in front of his house again, please. We want all the money. We want all the wealth. We want all the opportunity. We want all the innovation here in Florida because we're the best. In New York, you're the worst now. So Miami in the last 10 years has gone from a party city, and believe me, I know it, to a money city. And we got so much money and wealth and opportunity down here. What's the famous jerky boy thing, Pablo?
Pablo, you coming home? Come to Florida.
Come to Florida. Come to Florida, everybody. Welcome. And that's what I think is going on here is Jeff Bezos is basically choose your enemies wisely. The enemy of an enemy is a friend. The billionaires, the tax guys are like, all right, guys, we might be competing, but these guys want to take all our money away.
Yeah. So
let's unite.
Let me get to this next story. And by the way, all of this stuff you're saying, it's great. But I'm going to tell you something here, Adam, that the conservatives have to pay very, very close attention to going into 2028. I'll tell you what that is AOC. She is watching the pain Americans are feeling with AI data centers. So what does she do? She does a new, I want to say, documentary where AOC goes and visits Trump country, where voters embrace her and fight over new data centers. Because you're going to see 2028 issues change. Every election issues change. Immigration, border, transgender, whatever it's going to be, technology, technocrats, you're going to see this being one of the topics in 2028, 2027. It'll be a top 10 issue that'll come up. Trump supporters in rural Georgia say they need help in their fight against a new data center in their town from an unlikely ally. Ready? AOC. If there's a chance that anything can be done, I feel like she's going to be the one to do it, says Beverly Morris in a new short documentary put out by More Perfect Union. Rob, do you have the clips of this, or is it just AOC speaking on this topic
This
here?
is just AOC, but she shows the water from the wells
Go
and
for
what
it.
the data centers have done.
Go ahead.
I have a
Oh
jar
my
right
God.
here.
That's disgusting.
This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia. Right after a data center was constructed, the metadata center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center.
Arnold Palmer.
I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation.
How do we know
this
she's
is
just gonna
what
get
the
some
drinking
pond
water now
and
looks
we
like?
don't. Did it for
That's a good
show.
question.
I mean, what are we doing?
Like Arnold Palmer was
Now
the
we're
first
just
one.
trusting AOC?
Well, no,
Both
we
of
do
us
know there's
can agree
environmental
that
impact from data centers.
neither
Okay,
one
so
of
let's
these
hold that
things
environmentally
are
accountable. That doesn't
drinkable.
mean we shouldn't
These
build
families
data
now have to
centers.
ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to
the
cook
showmanship
and,
here is
and
great.
bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a
Rob,
priority
do we have a
to
clip
ensure
of
that
the documentary?
I'll
or
see if I
no?
can find one.
Yeah. So the point here is, as much as we're talking about all this stuff with everybody coming to Florida, the wealth going to Texas, the wealth going to, I'm a capitalist, 100%, I get it. But a society has to also be a good society for the average kid coming out of college. There was another guy that just gave a college commencement speech. Rob, I don't know if you saw that one. He gave a college commencement speech where he got booed, and he doubled down and says, I don't care if you're booing. Let me tell you, it's just the truth. I don't know if you saw that or not. Did you see that, Ilan? Did you
No,
see?
I didn't, but
Rob, did you see it? There was a guy giving a commencement speech, and he was just kind of doubling down on being there's many words I can use, but just being an asshole. And the kids are like, yeah, boo. Look, if a 22-year-old graduating college, their lives is not better. Not that it was a guy. Their lives are not better. They can't afford to get married, have a house, have kids, and you just say, well, that's your problem. If we think that way, you're screwed. I think this is the guy, Rob. Go ahead.
Streaming rewrote the economics. Social media rewrote the discovery model. AI is rewriting production as we sit here. I know it. Deal with it. Like I said, it's a tool. Hey, like I said, you can hear me now or you can pay me later.
Good line.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a
Hey,
good.
then do something about it, okay? It's a
What you
tool.
said.
Make
What's
it
his
work
name?
for you.
What's the guy's name?
His name is
Tom, do you know who this
Scott
guy is?
Borchetta.
Who is he? Great last name. I kind of feel like going to an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
now.
Bruschetta,
I feel like eating
yeah.
bruschetta.
What does he do?
Helper?
CEO of Big Machine Records. I believe that was the record label that originally signed Taylor Swift.
Okay, so is he a money guy? Is he a money guy? Type in net worth, Rob. Let's see where he's at.
Record executive.
Is he a record? It's like a.
You won't find favorable.
450 million.
Nah, so he's not really a money guy.
He's kind of on the low end.
He's not a money guy. He's doing okay for himself.
Top 5%.
But I tell you,
Unless you're worth a bill, I don't want to hear
as
from
you're
you.
going through issues that are going on with low and middle income families, if you don't pay attention to the stuff that's going on with AI data centers, if you don't pay attention to the stuff that's going on with affordability, if you don't pay attention to the stuff that's going on with AI replacing jobs and the fear kids have, a person like an AOC will come up and say, this is why the only institution that can go up with these bully technocrats is the government. This is what they're going to say. You need
100%.
us to go fight off these technocrat trillionaires and billionaires, and we're here to save you, and we're not going to let them touch you or do anything to you. That's what I think is coming next. Ilan, your thoughts?
You nailed it on the head. You're starting to see a realignment, even of guys from Bezos, who was historically critical of Trump, starting to even realign himself with Trump. You're seeing these weird fracture points that are beyond the traditional left and right. What she's touching on, by the way, is one of those fracture points. It doesn't matter if you're conservative. If you're affected by job loss or you're affected by data centers polluting your water or affecting your environment in where you live in a small town, you're going to start aligning yourself with the people who are speaking to you. And if the right doesn't pick up on that, if it doesn't start touching on that and the importance of that and speaking to people who are affected by this and will be far more affected in the future, then someone like AOC will come up. And she's surprisingly charismatic when she's on point. She's dangerous in that sense. So, yeah, I think the talking points have to shift from traditional left versus right talking points to what are the things really affecting Americans today. This is a big one. And if you don't talk to Americans, you're going to lose them.
Tom.
You can look back. You know what? And I'm going to draw a parallel here. You can say what you will about Bernie Sanders, and we've all joked about him. I've joked about him pretty much.
It's fun.
But what I respect about him is not his position, but you have to respect an opponent in the political stage. And what was his message that carried so much young vote of this older senator? Student loans. Student loans were big. People couldn't feel they could afford them. Even though we say, you bought the car, you got the loan. That's what we said. You bought the education, you got the loan. People were saying, I had no choice. It was expensive. I got into college. I wanted to study this or study that. They don't see the choices they made in there and the willing choice there. They see expensive student loan, that the student loan processors and administrators were acting really badly. Guess who surfed that wave? Bernie. Bernie surfed it, and he talked about wiping out student loans and making education free, and that resonated to people in the point of education. Now we have someone even more charismatic, even more dynamic, going deep into Trump country, into a county he carried by 60 points, and carrying the mantle for data centers. And data centers is the symbol of that which is more data centers means more AI. More data centers means my expense. You look at polling right now, Pat, you know what the word people associate with data centers? Expensive near me. If those are near me, it's going to be expensive for me. It's going to be expensive for me. Electricity is what they focus on. But now what they sit back and you say, that's a data center. Now the data center is also about, other problems near me, the environment near me, and most of all, data centers drive AI. AI drives jobs. All these CEOs keep talking about AI and job loss. So guess what? She has her populist point. And unless we get on top of this, and this is what I have been making this statement now for 5 months. I look back at the first time I said it on the podcast. You need to stand up and say data centers need to pay for their own infrastructure if it affects water and electricity, because that's part of the public good.
100%.
So you need to get permits for the small nukes, and you need to look at the sounds, because some of them, I found out it's not all of them, some of them that use certain cooling are loud as hell, apparently. Confirmed.
We saw the video.
And there are others that are not very loud. Okay, well then we need non-loud data centers that don't bring up the price of electricity so that people are not impacted. But the flip side of it, people are still saying, man, data centers, Pat, that means AI, and AI is taking jobs. And a populist like AOC becomes very formidable.
Yeah, and by the way, if you look at this here, when it says 7 in 10 Americans oppose local construction of AI data centers, it doesn't say 7 in 10 liberal Americans. It doesn't say 7 in 10 Republican Americans. It said 7 in 10 Americans oppose local, and this is from Gallup, not CNN, not Fox. It's just telling you where the American people are at. So you have to check the polls going into 27, 28. This is a real issue. And then, there could be some decisions you could make. You could say it could be 10 miles away from where there's schools. It could be 50 miles. It can be. We got plenty of places to build that the local city will not be disrupted. But there's a lot of conversation. And by the way, the typical argument they make, Tom, you know what the argument is made? The argument is made, well, it's us or China. Who do you want to win, right? It's us or China. And it's us or, what are we going to do? We're going to lose this battle? We're going to let other people win this battle? And where it's a fair conversation to have. And again, all I'm thinking about, a guy that follows the sport of politics, is what are going to be the main things. At Steve Hilton yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Yesterday, right? He was here yesterday, and I'm just sitting there watching for myself. And I'm like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? What are you guys doing about this? What are you guys doing about that? And I want to make sure this guy has a chance at winning, because you'd love to see California have a different person. Most people don't even know this. 61 years out of the last 100 years, the governor in California was a Republican. Let me say that one more time.
61 of the last 100 years, the governor of California was Republican. It's been a fairly Republican state majority of the time until lately. They've had more governors that were Republicans than Democrats. You'd love to see that happen to them. But you have to go and see the pulse. And the pulse today going into 27, 28, this is an issue that people are thinking about. Adam, your thoughts?
I'm with you 100% on the conversation about data centers. I'll say this. People have every right to question, all right, what's going on here, guys? Because as humans, because we're returning to humans again, human normalcy, we fear the unknown. We don't know what's going on. Like, you go and ask my mom about Bitcoin. Oh my God, they're going to steal my money. Like, but that didn't stop us from having Bitcoin and the internet and the automobile. Like, technology grows our societies. The entrepreneurs are going to continue their business as they should. We should be fearful of China. We should be fearful of these other countries. So we're going to use this as a force for good. Is a gun a good thing or a bad thing? Is the internet a good thing or a bad thing? Is a smartphone a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I'm glad we have them. So the local, they say all politics is local. The local conversations need to be had over AI data centers. But on the top 10 issues, if you're talking about this, these local towns that AOC is just charming over. All right, cool, data centers we may agree on. Let's go over the another 10 issues. Do we see eye to eye on any of them? The open borders, the transport stuff, the godlessness, the Marxist stuff, the wokeness. It's like, no. All right, data center, maybe. So the right better get a hold of this data center thing so they don't use the affordability and economic conversation during midterms. But all the other issues for your normal Americans, I don't see AOC charming the pants out of them at all.
Okay, you stay there.
Other than
you
in
stay
Brooklyn.
there. Yeah, you stay
Other
there.
than
Let
in
me
Brooklyn.
tell you.
We still bring up Bernie 10 years ago.
No, but let me tell you.
As if normal Americans are still falling for that. The
you
young
pissed off Rob right there.
The young
Rob's gonna
people
be
are
furious.
Rob, put your pants on, dude.
Right. So here's what
young people are susceptible. But older people who are not living on social media all day, they know a little bit more
Adam,
normal.
Screaming doesn't make your argument right.
I was yelling at Rob.
I understand that. Let me tell you what I'm saying here. If you get, at the end of the day, men are dangerous to society when they don't have what?
Jobs, work.
What
purpose,
else?
Purpose.
What else?
Women.
What else? Okay, can we say those are the top three?
Yeah.
Men are dangerous, horrible to society if they don't have those three things, and I would put hope as well.
Yeah.
And faith as well in those categories. But specifically, it's what?
Purpose.
Money, purpose, a family, a woman in their life, friends. Okay.
Basically, don't be a loser.
So if these disruptions happen, thank you. If these disruptions happen, it's funny, these batteries get bigger, but they die sooner. How the hell does this happen with technology? The biggest one died the fastest one. It's like, I just want to.
They're stealing the computer
ghetto
power.
ones that would last a long time. So, if we all of a sudden see regular, by the way, when is election? When is presidential election? How long do we have?
November of 2028.
November of 2020. How long do we have till then?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay, so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
You ready for this question, Tom? I got a question for specifically Tom. You can give this answer too. You ready? We are 900 days away from presidential election 2028. If Anthropic CEO Vinny said unemployment could go to 10%, let's go worst case scenario. If AI, by the way, I had a dinner with a guy 2 nights ago, very, very successful guy financially, him and his wife, beautiful couple. He was in a meeting with Larry Ellison. And Larry Ellison, guess what Larry Ellison said? He said in around 5 years, there's going to be more robots around the world than human beings. He said 5 years. He didn't say 20 years. He said 5 years.
Larry Ellison said that.
And Larry Ellison doesn't just say shit. The guy's worth anywhere between $200 to $400 billion on any given day. I don't know where he's at today. He's worth $200 to $400 billion. He's 235
He's
today.
a top 5 guy and top 10 for sure.
But he's a top 5 guy. But he may be a top 2 guy in voice behind closed doors. So what do you mean robots are going to outnumber number of people in 5 years? He's saying this. Okay. Now, that'll never happen. How quickly did language learning models change everything? Very quickly. All right, Tom, worst case scenario. If AI is going as fast as it is, how advanced do you think coding is going to be in 2 years? How advanced do you think coding will be May of 2028?
28? I'm on the camp that I think we're going to see a doubling in the next 24 months of coding capability. The number of lines written per position or number of lines written per what you want to measure, it'll be 2x the number of overall lines written.
So let me
driven
ask
by
you,
AI at the top end.
Give me the best case scenario where unemployment will be October of 2028.
Best case?
Best case scenario.
For the election?
Yep, October of 2028.
I'm thinking 5 to 7.
Did you hear? Best case, Tom is saying 5 to 7%.
Unemployment?
Yes.
Right.
Best case?
Yes.
What is it right now? 4?
Yes. I don't know where it's at right now, Rob. Where are we at? 3.5 to 4.5%? I didn't say worst case to Tom. The question I asked Tom is best case.
And can we agree that they want to keep it
4.7% today?
That's in Florida. That's
no,
in Florida.
Go to U.S., Rob, not Florida. He didn't type in Florida.
And can we agree that
come off Florida?
Can we agree the magic number that the Fed would like to keep it as under 5%?
Yeah. So can you go to
Never mind the Fed.
unemployment?
We're talking about this.
Nationally, where's unemployment right now nationally? 4.3%.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, what was my question to Tom?
How soon?
No.
Where will it be in 2 years?
Best case unemployment October of. And by the way, this isn't Trump's fault.
No, this is natural evolution of
natural
technology.
evolution of AI. Okay, Tom, do me a favor. Give me worst case.
Worst case?
Yeah.
And by this is cataclysmic?
Don't give me cataclysmic. Just give me like
some hope.
Give me an 8. 8, not a cataclysmic. Like an 8 worst case.
8 on 10, you mean?
I'm really concerned that it could touch 10.
Okay, perfect.
Which is not
it's still
insane.
But no, it's not. It's not. It is insane.
Okay.
It is insane.
Let's. Where was it during COVID?
No, you can't compare COVID. No, you can't
Because
compare
COVID was an artificial
COVID is an
temporary
event that came and left in 6 months. So you can't
I'm just
compare.
saying, where was it?
It's not. If you go historically and you look at unemployment. Look at the last time we had 10%.
Okay.
No, don't look at that. That's like when you do steroids, TRT, and cycle, and all of a sudden you're like this. Look at me, my testosterone level is 1,200. Bro, get off all the shit and where are you at now? Well, it's really 382. No shit. Like, go ahead.
I'm very motivated to take TRT.
Fully agree with you that was fake and this is real.
But stay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So go to the time where it was a legit 10.
Yeah, that was during the Great Recession.
And by the way, why is that? Because of no income, no asset loan that came in.
This is going to affect society more.
This is not going to be a drop like that, buddy.
No, this is unsustainable.
Here's where I'm going.
You mean it's going to be a worse drop?
Yes.
So you're saying it can go to as much as 20%, I'm assuming.
Let me make my point. I didn't say 20%. What I am saying to you is the following. Per percent of unemployment going up, how many jobs do we lose? Rob, can you pull up per percent of unemployment?
Million jobs?
How many jobs? No, it's bigger than that. Per percent of unemployment, it could be a million jobs. It's 150 million people that we have working. So 1.5 million is per percent. I don't know what the number. I'm just guesstimating. 1.5, 1.6 million.
I was kind of close.
Yeah, you were kind of close. So you know what it means if 1.6 million people are unemployed? Rob, can you tell me by how many votes Trump beat Hillary in 2016? By how many votes? Majority went to who?
Well,
Hillary. Hillary won 65.
She won
the popular vote.
Okay.
Popular vote,
so what is per percent? What is per percent? Is 1.6 million votes. How do you think they're going to be voting? And by the way, if it's 2%, it's 3.2 million. If it's 3%, it's 4.8 million.
Yeah.
If it's 4%, it's 6.4 million. You want to play this game? So where I'm going to from now, Republicans have to really sit there and realize if you think socialism was being sold where you're like, the things I don't ever have to worry about is socialism. Really? Yeah. Okay, bro, you stay that cocky. No, if I'm an advisor to a candidate for 2028, we are not only talking messaging, strategies, ideas, ways to do things because we're entering a different era. This is the easiest it's ever been to create wealth, and this is the easiest it's ever been to replace anybody. Who is the anybody? Who is the anybody? It's the average day today. So when you're talking about the youth is one. But how about the 57-year-old guy that still needs 8 more years to work because he's relying on his 401k and his pension? And all of a sudden, that guy who makes $117,000 a year, peaceful to society, no problem. He goes once a month and eats at Cheesecake Factory. Anniversary, he goes to Hawaii once a year. He's pretty okay. He's happy. That guy loses it? No. Very quickly will people say, look, I don't know what these guys are doing. They're becoming so rich. They don't even relate to me anymore. They forgot what it is to be a guy like me. I think I'm going to test out socialism for 1 year.
Yep.
If you think for a second AOC doesn't stand a chance in 2028, you're delusional. You're delusional.
Well,
nobody saw Bernie coming.
Okay,
remember Bernie?
by the way,
nobody saw him coming.
No, but it's the difference, Tom. This is the part that people like. Okay, do you realize?
You see, I'm on the same point.
Yeah. What did Rudy Giuliani run on in 2004?
Crime.
2004 crime, safety,
What
security.
did Rudy Giuliani? When did Rudy Giuliani run for president?
He cleaned up New York City.
Do you know why he didn't win?
Because it was too local?
No. Do you know the things he talked about that he didn't win? You know why Rudy, when he ran, he ran a couple times or he ran one time, Rob?
It wasn't the main issue at that point.
No. What controversy caused Rudy Giuliani to not have a chance of winning in 08?
Oh, in 08? What do you mean? What controversy?
He
The Great
ran
Recession.
for president.
Oh,
No, he ran for president, but there was a couple controversy that came out preventing from winning on 2008. What was it? The Bernard Kerik scandal. Yeah, we know that.
Okay.
May he rest in peace. The misuse of security funds, contrasting Republican positions, and a same-sex couple marriage. Okay, same-sex couple was one of them. You know when they asked Trump, what do you think about gay marriage? You know what Trump's answer was?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
No, he said, well, that's already a law. You guys have already made a decision. Let's go to the next
Didn't
topic.
touch it. Yep.
Giuliani,
Mm-hmm.
his policies were 95% identical to Trump. He just ran 8 years too early.
Mm-hmm.
If Giuliani runs in 2016, say Trump doesn't run, he has a shot at winning. If he had the energy of 2008, what's the point? Bernie Sanders maybe 10 years ago wasn't popular, 20 years ago wasn't popular. 2028, don't be too arrogant to think an AOC doesn't stand a chance.
I have one number.
But listen, I'm still, you know where I'm at and who I'd like to see have that nomination. It's still too early to tell, but you're delusional if you don't count her as a real threat.
I hear you. I'll be real quick. In a weird way, when you say this and you continue to say this, Pat, it's making my blood boil.
Well,
I'm like, dude,
I just want to say
are you kidding?
I'm glad it is.
And I get the
Because
attention.
people are not thinking that.
And I get the attention. I have to be super real. I'm just like, oh, Pat, no,
No.
but you're saying that people are fools and people are susceptible.
No, they're not
and then
fools.
people are
Fools.
Well,
I'm not-
victim culture, and then they'll buy into
I'm
social
not
media.
saying people are fools. I'm not saying people are dumb. I just told you, what does a man need before he becomes dangerous? Give the man money, give him a family, give him a purpose, entertain him. He won't cause chaos. Take those things away from him, he's a menace to society.
Sure.
If for every 1% that a man is not providing for his wife and he has to lay next to his wife and he's not providing, for every 1%, you're creating 1.6 million men who become menace to society. You can't afford to have
But
that.
you're saying that man who's upset is going to vote for AOC?
No, Adam, it's deeper. They're not voting for AOC. Number one,
deeper.
even me, I'm a diehard capitalist, right? Free market, I love it. I do see a shifting tide in the way things are going to be happening in the future. If there's a party in the future, regardless of left versus right, and you're talking about 1.6 million people per job, per percent.
Yeah.
That doesn't include their families who are affected by it. It doesn't include their friends who see it happening to them. It doesn't include the destabilization of the areas they live in where that's happening. So this affects far more than 1.6 million people per percent.
Sure.
I am a diehard capitalist, and I am worried about where this is going and what my future will look like and what my family's future will look like.
And so we all are.
Yeah, so the person
But that doesn't mean you're going to vote for the socialist.
No,
right?
but it
You're
does
not-
mean that I will vote for the person who is speaking to me and providing me an option
For sure.
in a situation where I feel like maybe I don't have any. So even if, and you'll see, people will vote irrationally when they're in a situation that is unstable. You see it all the time. Like I said, I made that documentary on mass psychosis. People look for comfort in instability. They will side with whoever is offering it to them, even if it's irrational. And it's a very dangerous place for society to be. And that can allow people who you disagree with on 9 out of 10 topics to get your vote because you disagree on the 10th, because it's
Got it.
satiating that
So
fear.
have better candidates than AOC is what I'm getting.
You do, but not only have better candidates.
I'm saying on the right.
Have not just better candidates, because it's not about candidates. Look, what were the 2 or 3 events that caused you to go from being a never Trumper to voting for Trump? What were the issues? What were the issues that flipped you for the first time in your life ever to vote for a Republican president?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, reality.
No, it's not.
It
reality.
was so
Be
many different
specific.
issues.
Yeah.
It was the left is no longer the left. They
Yeah.
are the far left, progressive,
Okay.
Islamist, Marxist.
Right.
They're not Democrats anymore. If Bill Clinton was running now, I'd be like, let's hear what you got to say, Bill. When AOC is running or Gavin's running, I'm like, no way, Jose.
By 2028, how many trillionaires will we have in America?
By 2028,
How many trillionaires will we have in America?
probably just Elon, maybe
No,
another
no.
one.
I think you're gonna have 3 to 5 trillionaires. I think Nvidia's on its way. I think you're gonna have 3 to 5 trillionaires by.
So
2028.
billionaires are the new millionaires, and the billionaires and the millionaires. are the
The wealth disparity is becoming like so wide.
for the Mag 7,
Yeah,
for the guys who have built the best companies of all
campaign.
time in the history.
I'm sorry, Anthropic wasn't part of the Mag 7. Dario Modi is going to be one of the.
But where'd they get their money?
He's on his way.
Where'd they get their money? From the big boys upstairs.
We're mashing around here. I want to answer a question that Pat asked that I think we're all.
And I want to move on to the next topic.
Yes. Can I answer the question you asked?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said, how many people? 2016, Trump became president because of 76,000 votes in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. 76,000. Take that 1.6 million people, the 1% unemployment, that's 4.5% of it.
Keep staying cocky. See what happens. Keep staying cocky.
You follow that? You only need 5% of that 1% unemployment to vote the other way.
Keep staying cocky and see what happens.
But what do you mean by cocky? And I know you want to move on, but what do you...
Keep thinking that this is not a real threat. Listen, people know where I'm at. This isn't about a message of where I'm going to vote.
Yeah.
This is not about a message of where 90% of conservatives are going to vote. This isn't about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what the 12% in the middle of the independent libertarian is going to flip to. You out of your mind? Like you don't. So if you stay this cocky, Rob, make a note on predictions that we make to come back and check on this. Can you make a note, Humberto? Make a file on your notes of predictions that I said this today. Let's bring this clip back up in 2028, October. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. You know how many times I've talked to my guys that got too cocky and what happened to them? How did this happen? Play the clip of what I told you 2 years ago. Stop being so flipping cocky. The Republican Party cannot be cocky right now. And by the way, this is not Trump's problem. This isn't Trump's problem. Trump's going to come and do his things in 2 terms. Republicans have to think about this is post-Trump problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then what are you going to be doing? Sit on the sidelines and don't do anything about this and think it's going to be just a regular thing. Okay, so anyways, let's go to the next story. Next story I want to go to is, let's talk about the San Diego shooting. Okay, so tragic San Diego shooting of what happened there. Out of nowhere, we're hearing all these stories of what happened. Let me kind of read some of the stuff to you, and then Vinny and Ilan, I'm going to come to you guys on this. On May 18, 2026, at the Islamic Center of San Diego, the largest mosque in San Diego County, these 2 shooters, where authorities say they're 17 and 18 years old, come in, they kill 3 victims along with themselves later on in the car, which, by the way, the video is in the car. One guy shoots the other guy, then he shoots himself, and you see the blast. That don't go watch the video. It's nasty, right? On what the video is. We're not going to show the clip. Police say they are investigating the shooting as a possible hate crime. Officers reportedly arrived within about 4 minutes after the first emergency calls came in. The first emergency calls came in around 11:40, 11:45 a.m. time. The 2 suspects were found dead inside a vehicle 2 blocks away from the mosque. Security guard Amin Abdullah was praised as a hero after engaging the shooter and helping trigger lockdown procedures. Roughly 140 children inside the mosque's school were protected during the lockdown. Imagine these parents are sitting there worried about what's happening with their kids. You're a parent, no matter what your religion is, you're inside, you're worried about, wait a minute, what just happened? You know, who wants to see that? Nobody does. Another victim, Nader Awad, reportedly helped draw the shooter away from the children and worshippers. Mosque elder Mansour Kazia, a longtime community member, was also killed. Investigators say suspects were likely radicalized online, communicated through their internet communities, focus on extremist content. I can go on talk about what's going on with these guys. Investigators said the suspects appeared inspired by mass attacks, including the 2019 Christchurch mosque shooting in New Zealand that took place. Sources say video allegedly showed the attack was posted online. So while this is going on, they find a manifesto. I don't know how many pages it is. I think 74 is what I heard. In the manifesto, they're not on the left. They're not on the right. They're not, they bash Jews. Their main thing is the number one threat to the world is Jews, right? The number one threat to the world is Jews. Then they talk about Muslims. Then they criticize the LGBTQ community. Then they say the conservatives aren't going far enough. You become too soft. Then they criticize the liberal agenda, what they're at. And, then they say they want to go take out the vice president. They threaten to want to take out the president, the vice president, a bunch of different names and stuff that they're going after. Extremely, chaotic, traumatic event that obviously took place. Rob, is this the authorities giving the update of what happened?
Yes.
Go for it.
So I can confirm there has been a manifesto that's been recovered. I would reiterate it's early on in the investigation. We are dedicating every resource the FBI has to conduct a thorough analysis of that manifesto to try to learn what led to this, but I think also more importantly, how can we stop future attacks? So I know there's a lot of questions related to this on the community. What I would just continue to reiterate is they didn't discriminate on who they hated. It covered a wide aspect of races and religions.
More than just the Islam.
You can pause it right there. Vinny.
Just evil, and we've talked about it how many times, manifested in two people that I have a bunch of things to talk about, Pat. First and foremost, where they get these guns. Apparently, allegedly, Rob, did they steal them from the parents or the mother or something like that? Problem number one. Problem number two, and I love that you said it, because people were messaging me like, why aren't you guys condemning it that they shot Muslims? And I was like, and blaming us for our rhetoric about criticizing Islam and Muslims, that this is what caused it. These guys hated Jews, blamed Jews for everything, hated Trump, wanted the left to murder Trump, wanted the left to murder J.D. Vance, hated MAGA, hated women, hated gays, hated trans, hated Islam, hated immigrants, hated black people, and they were incels, okay? And they said Jews were the #1 problem, and yet they go to a freaking mosque to shoot up. So everybody out there messaging me from Islam and Muhammad, shut up. Okay? And then on top of it, to make things even crazier, the security guard who was murdered actually shared the shooter's pro-Nazi ideology. The shooters had SS markings on their stuff. The security guard posted pro-Hitler killing the Jews memes on social media, which is weird. And then one of the shooters, Pat, walked out of a mental health treatment center the day before the massacre. Okay? So how does this slip through the cracks? Where are the parents? Where are the friends? Where's society looking at these two freaking people that are obviously open about their blatant hate for everybody, and nobody says anything? Nobody. Like, I guess 2 hours before, Pat, somebody mentioned something, or the mom was like, oh, he's crazy, and be careful. Okay? So to blame this on somebody or asking other people why they're not talking about, these people are crazy. And the ideology of these guys, it just shows the horseshoe theory of politics. Very far left, very far right, becoming indistinct. You can't even tell them apart. That's it.
Ilan.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect example of what nihilism leads to, and extremism, and the type of rhetoric we see online. Just to bring up faith, I mean, this is a society that is losing faith and delving into extremism. Just the idea that all human life has value because it's created by God and is beautiful. And what you touched on is truly the most tragic part of all, is that the extremist ideology that these guys went online, and you can see everywhere. I turn on Instagram, I turn on TikTok, I see Nazi rhetoric everywhere. It's become completely normalized. Dehumanization online is out of control. And the very ideology, because Amin Abdullah, the security guard who did tragically die trying to save the people. God rest his soul. Yes, because it is tragic. I don't care what religion you are, but all of it's tragic. But it's so tragic to me that the very ideology he supported comfortably online, because he didn't understand the consequence of that kind of extremism, that Nazi ideology, because he wrote faux show on a post about, do you now understand why Hitler did what he did? He commented faux show on that his friend posted. That very ideology ended up being responsible for ending his life tragically. Extremism never stays isolated to the group you might believe it targets. It's a cancer. It spreads throughout society. I always say the solution to this is to veer away from every message of identity politics, of extremism, all these things, and lean into God. Lean into faith, and we're going to see more and more of this. I open the internet, and all I see, and maybe it's my algorithm, is just violence and the acceptance and normalization of violence. Whereas when I was a kid and Faces of Death came out, that documentary.
I remember that.
It was devastating to watch it. It was hard to watch it. Now the comments, when we see this kind of extremism, are, oh, good, another one, or, oh, whatever. Just the most negative, disgusting comments. We have to lean into God. We have to, as a society, and you were talking about humans want that connection. Humans want to, that's how we're going to save ourselves. We save ourselves through God. We save ourselves through society leaning back into that. Because again, this guy, Amin Abdullah, was an extremist in his own ideology and beliefs as well. As tragic as it was.
So when you say God, though, some people have different gods. I think it's...
Well, you know what my answer to that is.
And again...
We are a Christian nation, period. End of story. That is the... Just like I won't go to Saudi Arabia and tell them to not be a Muslim country. If you're in America, we're a Christian country. And I don't see how that's controversial. Our foundational beliefs, our ethics, and our morals are based on Christianity. I will fight for those ethics. I will fight for that moral foundation, because it is the ultimate solution to the kind of devastating extremism and lack of identity that we see happening right now.
Tom.
Amen.
Well, it's been said before, and you've said it, Pat. Professor Galloway, Scott Galloway has said it. When young men have a hole in their heart and they have economic and relational hollowness, and, you know, I'll add everything else that we have to it. You don't have a sense of purpose in life, and what the society around you, and it's your parents are responsible, they have to be involved, but when the society around you is divided on purpose, and when we go into election season and we're venomous to the point of wishing harm on each other, and that's the backdrop. That's not the cause of it. That's a backdrop. What do they put in their heart? You know, it's really funny. This isn't funny. I'm saying this is ironic. The Reverend E.V. Hill, who served young men in South Central Los Angeles, pointed out that men at 14 to 17, it was critical for men to feel love, discipline, and respect. And that the broken homes, and he was speaking about African-American homes, the broken homes in downtown LA, where there was not a father present, that the gangs provided love, discipline, and respect to these young teenage men in the exact opposite and horribly perverse way. And so people say, how could they join the gangs? They're finding the inverse of what their heart and their soul is crying out for. And now, and this goes back, E.V. Hill passed away in 2003. So this is before the waves of social media and everything, but he was right. And now we're seeing it today. These young men are now able to dive in through online access to all of the other essences to research the things these guys are researching and become completely anti-societal in its completion. And we need foundation of family and faith. That's it. It's not a long speech from this man talking. Family and faith is a foundation that we need. Big brothers, Adam. Big sisters. That's where we're going to start the path forward.
Go for it, Adam.
For sure, we need more God in this country. I was just lucky enough to be in D.C. meeting with Speaker Mike Johnson, and it was all about the main words where the speaker speaks, right where Donald Trump gives his speeches. In God we trust. And he talked about Christianity and a Christian country and Judeo-Christian values. And as Mike Johnson's speaking, he looks right across and he says, look at all the faces along the wall. Who's the face in front of all of us right now? He goes, it's Moses. He gave us the 10 Commandments, which started all this, Old Testament, New Testament. Mike Johnson, very sharp. He praised Christian, just all about everything American and Christianity. Also does a great Trump impression, by the way. But this conversation about this San Diego church,
not a church, mosque.
I'm sorry, mosque. Never. I don't think it should be a controversial statement. You know, let's keep schools, religious organizations, structures, keep the guns and shooting away. But I do find it somewhat ironic that a mosque that has been accused, and if not convicted of radicalizing their population, has basically been victimized by radicalism, by just a different type of radicalism. Because I don't know how much, like, this brought attention to the mosque. What is this mosque? People want to focus on these two loser kids that have been racist and radicalized, but what's up with this mosque? Because they hate the Jews, but they also hate the gays and the fags, But then I'm like, what's going on with this mosque? And this mosque, turns out that the 9/11 hijackers, this was their mosque. And it turns out that the Muslim Brotherhood allegedly hanging out at this mosque. Follow the money, right? Turns out that CARE, not CARE like hearts, the Council for American Islamic Relations, CARE, is basically operating out of here. I'm just asking questions and connecting dots. But this specific mosque has been correlated with a lot of stuff that we need to look into. And of course, as much as recently as justifying terrorism and after October 7th. This mosque, as much as a lot of mosques, unfortunately, have gone from a place of worship, which it should be, to a national security threat. So this is a horrible thing and a tragic thing that happened here. And thank God that innocent victims were not killed. But at the same time, what's actually going on in this mosque? That's what I want to know.
Rob, go back to where you were at a minute ago. Where were you at a minute ago on that Wikipedia where you found...
That looked like Mohammed Al-Atta, one of the hijackers from
The first hijackers arrived in the United States, San Diego, California, January, San Diego, and this one. Okay, got it. Well, listen, I'm sure a lot of other things is going to come out as this is happening. The reality of it is, I don't care what side of the extremist it is, I don't want any of it. I don't want any of it, period. And zero, none of it. And God willing, our FBI can get to the bottom of it to see what else we can learn from it to prevent other events happening in the future. With that being said, we are at the end of the podcast. Folks, if you didn't get a chance to go and pick up your Here Am I gifts for yourself or your loved ones, go to vtmerch.com, place your order before these things sell out, which they will, and sport it in your communities. The more we represent Future Looks Bright, Faith Over Fear, Here Am I, the more it'll inspire others to do the following. Like I told the story, every time I wear Future Looks Bright, people give me a look and they ask, you really believe that? You really believe that? I do. I do. I do believe that. Why? My pastor, it's so funny, Tom, I don't know if you saw this or not. Everyone's texting me saying, Dudley did a video and he said something about you on stage. I'm like, I can't find sermon which one it was. He says, yeah, he did. And so, Rob, let me see if I can send this to you. He's doing a service at his church, and I'll try to forward this to you to see if we can show it. And he opens up the sermon with this, which was fantastic. I love Dudley. We got to figure out a way to bring Dudley to.
He's such a great guy.
I've been trying to get him to come down here to do a sermon at one of the churches, either Calvary or Presbyterian or a local Fort Lauderdale, Florida church needs to invite him we can pack the place out. So this is Dudley. He says this, Rob, if you want to download it and play it, maybe fast forward to like right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of it okay, right there is fine. Press play.
And the people who
This is the
lead
greatest
that choir,
pastor in
the
America,
time
in
they
my
put into
opinion.
that. Would you thank all those people for me?
The
as
greatest
well?
pastor in America. He married us. Love this guy.
I have a friend named Patrick Bet David, and he always says the future looks bright. And I truly believe that when God sees these young people on this stage worshiping the Lord with all of their heart, that nothing makes God as happy as that, except for maybe when somebody comes to faith in Jesus. Amen?
There you go.
And so we're thankful for all of our
Dudley,
young people
you
here.
are loved. Send a message to Dudley if you go to Shepherd and tell him we love him and we wish him nothing but the best. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll do it again next week. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.